of SALONE Network. Today, May 1st, 2020. As soon as all know, say yesterday, for people in our SALONE, can also the time difference. We may get plenty news them on concerning SALONE and plenty important things them. So today I get with me the full crew with the can talk about the issue in our SALONE concerning what happened at the prison, and we are going to give we own take about what we know and how what we ideas and for forward how we go prevent that making happen again. Tonight I get with me Mr. Mohamed Kutubuku Omar, Mr. Emmanuel Aliou, Mr. Ali Iskandri, and also Ms. Matilda Cole. We then will join me tonight for we get a full discussion about what we own take and how we will move SALONE forward for make sure some of them things here we could come together and engage and find solution to them and also prevent from making it happen again. So I will start with Mr. Mohamed Kutubu Lego, introduce himself to family and Steve Nadu before we start the show. Over to you, Mr. Kutubu, sir.
Good evening and pleasure for the today, colleagues. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kutubu, and over to you, Mr. Emmanuel Ali, sir. So,
this is my Emmanuel Ali. I'm glad you for there tonight and for engage people of Sierra Leone all over the world, and hope say we go try for make sense of the issues that we press into with people. And thanks again, VOS, for having me here.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ali, and over to you, Mr.
Ali.
Mr. Ali. Thank you, Mr. Ali, for the correction. And Mr. Iskandri, over to you, sir.
This now Mr. Aliou Iskandri, not Ali. And I'm glad for joining this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Aliou. Over to you, Ms. Cole.
Good evening.
All right, family. I'm not saying we all did, so a lot of people made them go ahead and share because tonight we don't forget heavy discussion, and as we all know, say this is now a tragic situation where happen at SALONE. Where no matter how we look at them, we lost lives them, and I think that we not go ever want a SALONE for make we go lost lives them in any kind of situation. But at the end of the day, they could find out we shed light on what happened, but we come in and discuss. But now we gain young point of what they know because we know say social media these days they get all kind of information. And that make one for coming here for debunk some of the wrong information there at the same time, put out the right information so people are going to know what happened or what we don't gather so far. And then we all go analyze the thing and talk about it as one Sierra Leone to political party lens they put now. One for look at this issue as Sierra Leone. But I know say in most cases we can forget different views there. That make we all come in tonight and then put reviews them up together, and at the end of the night we come up with solutions that will make sure say we medicate them problem here and then move forward so that as we move from this point going forward we're not going to lose lives and this kind to happen not going to happen again. So I will start with Mr. Ali because I know say we don't pull the video out for what's in your own take, what do you know saying that happen this guy to happen at the prison?
Well, I mean, we all don't listen to various perspectives then, but I think say we can reference maybe the information where we get from the Ministry of Information and the Minister himself be put out information. And we can also reference the Secretary General for SLPP, the ruling party in press release. I think say that go offer we some good information, but also the press release will come out from the main opposition party in Secretary General will reflect the position of the opposition party. I think inside will give you some insight. From all their sources then they, I believe, say we go able for put together at the maximum some preliminary findings then. You know, based on my own, in evaluating all the information, I think I go able for, at this preliminary stage, support the statement where the Secretary General of the SLPP put out that this was an attempted prison break. And the party believes, say, the government also believes, say, it was a premeditated, well-orchestrated, planned prison break for release the top profile prisoners that were in at the Pademba prison, specifically Paulo Conte and Herbert Williams. So I go stop there, but I think say this not my position, and I believe it also reflects the position of the Secretary General of the Sierra Leone People's Party. Since a public document, and I specifically spoke to him and asked, in position in terms of the press release where he put out, and he stand by that statement there, and that is the position I believe that the preliminary investigation at this moment supports that it was a prison attempted break, and possibly APC is in the know of this one.
Thank you very much, Mr. Emmanuel Ali. And I'll bring Mr. Aliu is kind of in. I'll get your view about what you know concerning the break and what your information when you don't gather. Over to you, sir.
Here's what my position is. I think we have clear evidence that this government is a bunch of murderers. They went in with armed police soldiers. These armed soldiers came from the president's personal bodyguard. They went in there and shot 11 prisoners, unarmed prisoners, dead. You know, let me tell you something. It hurts me deeply when, if this had happened under the APC, I bet you that this is not going to be Mr. Aliu's position. You understand? Mr. Aliu talks about the Ministry of Information. I call them the Ministry of Disinformation. He talks about the press release, the self-serving press releases that were sent out by the APC and SLPP party apparatus. Let me tell you something. This is not about APC and SLPP. This is about bad governance. The only sad part of it is that this bad governance is occurring under the SLPP banner, because it used to occur under the APC banner. Let me tell you, this idea to politicize an act of violence against innocent people is total rubbish. When you come online and say that this was a premeditated, well-orchestrated prison break to release top detainees, you know what it tells me? It tells me you're a party sycophant, because that's the part SLPP line. The truth of the matter is that Paulo Conte and the others were locked up excuse me, let me turn my phones off. They were locked up. They were locked up in prison. They were given double gates so they could, if they escape one gate, they can escape the others. I think you need to talk, Mr. Ali needs to talk to his people about the conditions under which Paulo Conte was locked up. Let me tell you what's happening. This prison, so-called prison break, was orchestrated by the government. We will never forget that December 29, 1992, that's how this leader, this president, under the NPRC that he led back then, went into the prison, picked out a few people and brought them out of the prison without authority and executed them extrajudicially. The bottom line is this. This was not an attempt by Paulo Conte or the other detainees, against whom this government really has no case, but that's another issue. This was an attempt by this government to give them an excuse to go into the prison and murder innocent people. Because what is this government there about is to make people be scared. And that's bad. I hope Mr. Ali is listening to me. Because when the people are discontented, when the people are unhappy, when the people are in a position where they have to fight or flee, they are going to fight. Now let's talk about why this thing happened in the jail. Listen, I have been to Pademba prison, not as a prisoner. Maybe Mr. Ali's party might want to put me there as a prisoner because I speak against them. But I tell you this much. If you don't ever go to Pademba prison, which was built in 103 or more years ago, you will realize why people have to vote. Besides, this government doesn't think. They got someone from the special court complex who had COVID-19. You and I all know that COVID-19 is something that spread in the air. They took that person not to the hospital, not to 34, which is being used as a COVID-19 central, but straight to the prison so that other people can be infected in the prison. And this government is totally incompetent, just like the last government, to address the issues of a massive outbreak of COVID-19 in the prison. That is what happened in this case. Then the government goes in after the fire. The fire may have been caused by an electrical spark. You and I don't know what caused the fire, although at this present moment, the government has arrested Sylvia Blyden. The government has arrested Mrs. Paulo Conte. For what reason? Just so they can put together evidence and say, these people caused it. I tell you what, Mr. Ali, and I'm addressing you directly, we must learn to love one another in Sierra Leone and stop this politics nonsense, because this politics is going to make we hate you and you hate we. We don't want a Rwanda in Sierra Leone. You guys were given the mandate to govern Sierra Leone. Govern it. Stop killing people. This was mass murder, nothing short of that. And the audacity of these people to post a picture of a young soldier, a captain, and they called him a hero, a man who walked in, gave orders to shoot 11 prisoners that were unarmed. You call him a hero. Let me tell you something about the laws of evidence. When I worked at the special court, the evidence that we had were pictures that were taken by the Kamajors and RUF. And I'll never forget that day when I saw a Limba man having his throat cut on picture by the Kamajors, and just because he had a red beret on. I will never forget that picture. That picture haunts me to this day. Let me tell you, you guys ought to stop, because arresting people and all that, you're going to create a situation you don't like. I rest for right now.
All right, thank you very much. I cannot say right now, Allman, it's like first the two guests them I will come back to now. Mr. Bring Mr. Kutubu in. You cannot see yourself now one of the strong mind at the social media any day. Rimbo Kutubu go on. So what's now you take Mr. Kutubu about what's happened? What's now you information where you don't gather, sir?
Well, thank you very much for the invitation. But immediately I will try as much as I can to stay away from the partisan and the hypertension, the blame games, the misogynistic name callings, the narcissistic diatribes, and all that. I did try to stay away from them. What thing I look at? I look at a society. We don't decide for embrace what you call the logic of lawlessness. This is exactly what I said. I really come from. A society we don't decide not for put in faith in the rule of law. A society where now a kind of animal farm mentality, or a free for all, everybody for itself, or God for all. A society where not get an iota of respect for the sanctity of life. This then asks the fundamental question, which are the causative agents for it here so? Before we go to the prophylactic measures, them we go against them. The causative agents, as me don't take them, they follow politics that's alone. It stems from one thing we, unfortunately, on both sides of the party, the SLPP and the APC, perhaps we get the wrong set of people that we come empower with the wrong set of idea and concept about governance. Some of we again, we only left for rely on history. I recall seeing very decent politicians then, where they come up. I saw a society where actually that be a monolithic society. I saw a society that get people like Mahmoud Ahmed, YDCC, Tapley Mangobe, H.E.B. John Nelson Williams, Mohammed Sanusi Mustafa, and all the rest, Constance Commission, Abu Fattah Rahman, Mohammed Hashuddin Al-Ghali. I mean, these are just few names that I saw a society will be getting about people, thinking about breed of people. The very physical appearance, it actually, denotes, the importance when they attached to which they be in the office. When I come up, I saw people like Sir Emil Fashio-Luke. I saw people like Sasalako Benkakoka. I saw people like Sir Bankole Jones, and all of these people there. So, as many people there. That now the society that will be come up with where law and order was the modus operandi. The society will get now an animal farming time. So things like this where they happen, so enough for surprise anybody. So the question we want to ask yourself, now this way we intend now for go. So once we said, when something we said, I mean, an academic question that or a conjecture, anyhow you look at. But in me, you consider judgment and candid opinion. Having lived in a society like this, where the rule of law 90, where nobody, not the above the law, as exemplified by the fact that a sitting president was dragged to a court of law because the impeachment actually the court of law than within the frameworks of the political structure. Now only SALONE we don't hear say no leader wants to be in office. Whatever you do, no, that no. But when you come into office, you swear for defending and uphold the constitution of the country. That's what we come in. So therefore, when there are infractions of principles, when laws are broken, I believe say this. I think for the address, forgive gravitas to the argument. Say nobody, your office or your personality, not the above the law. As I wrap up on this, like you want dramatic curriculum statement, people will say about you like joke. If you take either former president and by Kuma Iputaya, you put God middle there, you put them Bioya. You said, Sir Union, say we have now go worship one of them people there to any two of the friend that is for so. Everybody go avoid worshiping God, then go genuflect before Ernest by Kuruma. Or Madam you. Here is what? Because we don't create a system where only the leaders in the party matter. There is nothing like SALONE. SALONE is not obliterated completely. There's nothing. When you talk about how they call it, it's either it mean a SLPP, solid SLPP. Here no evil. Here no evil, see no evil. If mean a APC, here no evil, see no evil. Solid. So we don't think now will not get place for SALONE at all. What to get the party or the leaders? That now the collective tragedy that we don't before contemporary SALONE. Now make with this. Back to you, sir. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Kutubu. So I bring Miss Matilda Cole in because I know say I tell for I'll make a government your opinion because I know say up to this day we not get a full 100% comprehensive statement which is that it's exactly caused the riot. So make I go back to Ms. Matilda. What thing you don't take about what you don't gather from social media and the information that we don't get back home about what caused the riot?
Okay, so for the most part, I think I'm going to leave social media out of this because inside social media, all man just they talk their own. Some people they don't be the offender. Some people they don't be the plaintiff. Some people they don't be the defender. Some people they don't be the judge and the jury and the everything all together. You know, Mr. Ali talks something just now where he say possibly APC is in the know of waiting happen. Now, the only reason waiting make I go take him a little bit with a grain of salt and not attack the presumption or assumption because he used the word possibly. Okay? Now that word they no more I ain't get him a little bit out of maybe waiting at the one for say. So he's presuming, right? By saying possibly. Now, waiting make he say possibly? Is he saying possibly because he has information that the rest of us do not have? Is he saying possibly because he trusts the source of information that he has? We don't know. Mr. Aliyu Iskandri say, what happened is nothing short of a massacre or mass murder. Okay? Mr. Kutubu talk about the love of country first rather than the love of party. What in Matilda in get for say? Matilda just want to ask you questions right now. And they ask me questions them based on what in the government officials they don't say, and also based on what in don't happen. On the 27th of April, I do a live video. And in that live there, if people and they are so will be watch me live, the members say the one question I asked them, not even knowing what was to come. I said to them, listen, if the same zest, if the same vigor, if the same elegance, if the same eloquence, if the same, the same how you call it, lust, the same bravado we una exhibit today in wearing the green, white, and blue, in showing the green, white, and blue. I say SALONE not been for dinner the place where it is so today. I say you see today where una wear una color them. The only thing we una talk about the green, white, and blue, which should be the first and the last thing on your mind. I said the one thing we una not talk about associations to names, una not talk about affiliations to political party, una not talk about loyalty to religion or tribe. I said the only thing we una display now the green, white, and blue. I say and una display them so lustfully, una display them so elegantly, so brilliantly. I say if na that same mindset we use for advance the business of SALONE, the SALONE that our grandparents knew would not be the SALONE that we came to know. The SALONE that we know now would be the SALONE of Citadel. We are talking about Singapore. I say the SALONE where we sabi right now, if only, we know friend we self na a situation where old men, where name are running ranks on each other, pulling ranks on each other, where big men are there protecting each other, but then fooling the younger generation and getting the younger generation to be lost into their, their politicking and their cabals and their protectionist, religion of each other. I say SALONE go don't go before. Few questions I want to understand right now is how that prison break or what happened at the prison, how it happened. How is it that Paolo Conte in WEF is being a prisoner? What crime did she commit? What crime did she commit that we do not know of that she has been in prison? At least for Paolo Conte, until we say he in fact state law, now he then charge him with treason and whatnot. What crime did his wife commit? What crime did Sylvia Blyden commit for her to be spending the night in CID or whatever? What crime did she commit? The 11 people then were then killed. They are already state prisoners. What crime did they commit? Were they armed? Were they, did they pose a threat, immediate threat to the nation? Did they pose an immediate threat to the armed guards that were there? Those are the questions that I need to answer. Is there a CCTV camera at the prison to actually give us a blow-by-blow record of what happened? Because right now we are having hearsay. Why was the vice president there in a scene of a crime, supposedly a crime scene, less than 24 hours, touching things? Why was the people without protection? Why were the people who went to the scene at the beginning? We saw the video. Why were they not protected? Why was the crime scene, supposed crime scene, not protected? Why were they there touching things and holding things? So right now, if I were to go there as a trained investigator, would I feel to say I go point the finger back to? I go point the finger back to the people that will go there less in the immediate after effect of the thing, because at the fingerprints them I go catch panting them. Now the fingerprints them I go catch panting them. So I am asking again, what happened at the Pademba Road prison? As Mr. Ali said, or alleged to have said, possibly APC is in the know of this. I am throwing this question back to you, Mr. Ali, just as a plain citizen of Sierra Leone, who's always been concerned about Sierra Leone, and who could give a rat's about politics and politicking in Sierra Leone. Was the SLPP possibly in the know of this? And if so, in what depth or to what extent did they participate?
Well, I suppose the question was directed at me, so I can jump in, right?
And also,
A couple more questions to that. So you can have a handful of questions.
make I get to Mr. Ali, because I know say na enforcement don't start, and it make a big it talks about in your information we gather, you understand, say APC people really behind the prison way. So now I make around settle now to make intel with more about the allegation and what's in gather, because again, we all want to probably allow and say this is going to be a long discussion tonight. So we are allowed to go for break everything down. So over to you, Mr. Ali.
Thank you again, Mr. Moderator. Again, my opening was brief, and I do not begrudge my colleagues who had lots of time to be emotional about the issues. I then
Yeah, I think in line to look at small problem we will come in. So again, a couple of seconds. Yeah, family, I think say low because
can you hear me?
Yeah, you let me go, but don't come back, so you can just start over again, sir.
Okay, so sorry about that. Now I was just saying nobody should apologize because they are connected in the civic way to a political ideology. That is what multi-party democracy is all about. And we live under a constitutional system where we have a republican form of government, where the people choose their government, and they choose their government based on an ideology that they have bought into. Now, don't get me wrong, for the 34 years of APC rule, you might agree with me, I hope you do, that the people of Sierra Leone never really had a chance at any serious representative democracy. So I will not come here to apologize that I am SLPP. I am very partisan. That does not preclude my loyalty and my patriotism to Sierra Leone as a country. So oftentimes when people come to public forum and express emotionally their disconnect from political affiliations, I tend to question what is their reality in terms of political engagement. Do you belong to a political party and subscribe to a political ideology, or are you just dangling within a space and claiming to be apolitical, yet claiming to want to be part of the body politic? That is a philosophical yet a pragmatic question I want to throw out there so we can dispel a little bit the emotion that people often tend to play in public domain. But that aside, let us focus now on the case in point, which is, again, I am referencing the Sierra Leone People's Party's Secretary General's position that is now public information. If you examine the language of that document, there is a presumption that APC might have been in the know. I can give you an information that is probably not in the public domain right now. And even though we're in the preliminary stages of the investigation, The preliminary investigation is pointing towards a prison break. This had nothing to do with a COVID-19 riot. This had to do with, one, even the so-called journalist, the female journalist that arrived, again, not even a journalist, the APC operative that somehow had infiltrated the prison systems arrived on Wednesday morning, the 29th of April, at the prison, as confessing that she was there to see Paulo Conte. That's one very critical evidence. Number two, for the past 2 weeks, Sylvia Blyden and the likes of other people in social media, whose name I don't think is worthy of my mention, have been inciting violence and asking people to be prepared for a moment like we had yesterday or the 29th when this situation happened. Again, it is speculation, it is conjecture, but it seems like we're building a case here that seems to be a very interesting coincidence. Perhaps the evidence will support or substantiate this possible theory. Number three, the press release of Ousmane Sané, the Secretary General for APC, did in fact disregard the breadth and the weight of the crime that Paulo Conte is charged with and that Herbert Williams is charged with, and proceeded to, I would say, knowingly and wrongfully state that they were political prisoners. I mean, the evidence against Herbert Williams, the evidence against Paulo Conte, and evidence which he has not, in fact, disputed, that he carried a weapon to a state house while on his way to a meeting with the president. That in and of itself, that admission alone.
Yeah, I think we're going to get another break. Let me see if you could come back in. I think the internet is going in and out. Yeah, get a couple of more, probably a couple of more seconds, and see if you will join me back soon. I hope so now I'll get to note it because I might come to Mr. Iskandari as soon as he's done. So that
removed from his cell. That had happened. And the investigators could not point. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you back. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, the investigators could not point who might have moved Paulo Conte. Again, there's a lot of information flowing in. This is all preliminary, but there is possibility that prison officers may have been conspirators with APC operatives. Again, this is all unfolding, but this was not a COVID-19 riot. This had nothing to do with any other reference to any other period in the history of Sierra Leone. This has nothing to do with people not being patriotic to their country. We have a government that the people gave a mandate. The mandate of SLPP is to move the agenda of the people. This is what SLPP is doing. The evidence is very clear. The priorities of the government, the priorities of the president have been established from 2018 to 2019 to now, in our budget, in our policy implementations. All of these have been spelled out. It is in the interest of the people of Sierra Leone. This has nothing to do with the region. The government was elected by the people to serve the people. If there is a criminal case, if there is a state case, if there is a serious crime that Herbert Williams, who is charged with murder, Paulo Conte and others charged with treason, this is a crime against the state. The law has to take its course. There is nothing political about this case other than a man who I consider a common criminal pursuing an agenda, perhaps in collaboration with his party, trying to betray the trust of his country and putting the security and the peace of our nation at risk. The government has every right to prosecute Paulo Conte, Herbert Williams, and make sure the prison break is purely seriously investigated and that we bring the country under control.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ali. I come to Mr. Iskandari because I know Mr. Ali make a certain assertion and certain claims. Say yes. Well, the reason why make people in rush go there and do this because of the middle already here on social media days before say they get for born the prison, and then so them they try to get themselves ready. Now that make them go there. So what's not your take on that? Because in the field, most APC guys, I mean, kind of social media say they get for do and this don't happen, whether it's coincidental or not. So then this field say, well, yes, this now a deliberate act, and it come up from them because they already see them go do if they all Paolo till that day. So what's not your take on that, sir?
My take is simple. Does this government depend on social media to govern? Now, let me ask my friend, Mr. Emmanuel Ali, to answer a few questions for me. Question number one is, what time did the fire start? It started at 7 a.m. in the morning. Isn't that true? Isn't that true? Just say yes or no. I'm going to cross-examine you now right here. Yes or no. Isn't that true?
Good. Very good.
Isn't that true? Answer. You can answer. Unmute his mic, please, so he can answer.
The mic be on.
Okay. Answer the question.
Well, Mr. Iskandri, I don't have to answer the question because the situation is under preliminary investigations. All the facts are not out yet. You do not know exactly when. Hold on. You do not know. Hold on. You do not know exactly when the fire started. You are making an assumption.
Mr. Emmanuel Ali.
Yes, sir.
When the fire started, an established fact.
Well, I mean, what is your basis of establishing that fact?
Okay, then let me move on to the next question.
I read the New York Times. I read exactly the report that the New York Times and the Reuters have reported on this, and I got my sources. Okay, go ahead.
Ali, let's proceed by question and answer. I ask you a question. If you can't answer the question, just say you can't answer the question. That's good. We can move on to the next question.
Well, I have the right to challenge the premise of the question if it's not legit.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Let's go on to the next question. Do you know who Mariam Sawane is, or Fatmata Sawane?
Sawane.
Yes, I do.
And who is she?
I think it's public information that she.
Answer the question. Who is she?
Question. You know who she is.
Okay, so Mr. Moderator, Emmanuel does not play the games here. We are here. I am here as a guest. I am not here as a witness of lawyer Iskandri, and obviously I am not going to subject myself to your cross-examination. You know that I'm not going to do that, so do not bother. Just proceed with your presentation.
To be fair to you, obviously, because we get all that to go for play actually in the future. So, Mr. Iskandri, you can go ahead. We get all the audio and we are for play in the future, the videos, and we get plenty.
This fire started at 7 o'clock in the morning. I want somebody in the SLPP that has listened to the video of Mariam Sawane, who is the women's leader of the SLPP. She was neither a prisoner, nor was she a warder, nor was she part of the security forces. Mariam Sawane came to this jail, according to her own statement, at 5 o'clock in the morning.
3 hours. 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
4 hours prior to the fire starting. Remember that. That's number one. Number two, according to her own statement, Lawrence Lima, who is one of the members of this government that everybody has targeted as someone with a propensity for violence, and he's not being held back, came to there at about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. That's Mariam Sawane's statement. The Minister of the Interior, 3 SLPP officials came to the jail prior to the fire starting. What were they doing there? Then, when the fire started, the armed guards came all the way from Hill Station, from the president's own personal guards. They came in there armed. I watched the videos, okay? They came in there armed. They went in there. They shot and killed 11 or 12 people. These people were there as prisoners. Some of them had not even been tried or sentenced to a term of imprisonment. Many of them were there because we have a system in Sierra Leone where the constitutional rights to bail is being denied, even in the most minor of cases. So we have a prison population that is burgeoning. And so many of these people were there accused of crimes. Some of them may have been there longer than the SLPP in power. The SLPP went in there. Lawrence Lima came in there ready to party. He came in and bought some drinks and brought them into the jail before the fire started. They were ready for a shootout party. That's what it is. And let me tell you something, Mr. Ali. No one has ever accused me of being partisan. When my father, Abdul Muttalib Iskandi, now late, was the person that nominated Ernest Kouma to be president of Sierra Leone, I opposed Ernest Kouma. I did it publicly. And at the time when, let me finish. At the time when I did it, people like you were picking me up. Hey, Iskandi Naman, Iskandi Naman. If I could do that against the APC, I'll do that against the SLPP. And I think you're nothing but a sycophant. And it's not an insulting word. It just says that you don't see the whole, you see just you can't see the forest for the trees. The truth of the matter is, if any of those people, Mr. Ali, were a member of your family, would you take the same position that you take now? I rest my case.
All right, thank you. What did you? I will access the technical team and play audio. Then I will come to Mr. Kutubu. Then we go analyze that audio there because we get plenty of video and audio we go for analyze tonight. There's a possibility we go for going beyond that this 2 hour. And I go for beginning of time. So we'll cut and short because we get a long thing for discuss. Make I ask the technical team. Now we listen to the audio from Ms. Famata Sawane in your own take. What he say? Then we go take them from there. The audio, sir. The audio now they play. So, okay. Why the technical team go to work on the audio? We then get some then go make we know. Like, go to Mr. Kutubu. Where the audio start talking, I can cut here from then way after we don't listen, I can continue. You answer. I know say you don't listen the back and forth between Mr. Ali and Mr. Aliu. And so waiting at you won't take because I believe say this now a difference of opinion and political party standing because Mr. Ali say we get them from information get them from back home from most people at the SAP office. Mr. Iskandi in differ from him because in CM say them the people where they write the report and be part of the them perpetrate the crime. So what you take on that, Mr. Kutubu?
Again, thank you. One of the things I don't enjoy for living in a country like the United States, especially when you look at the jurisprudence, the right not for come to any settled assumption until all the facts are in. Only we get all the facts and then you make valid, deductive, judgment. So with that, until all the facts are in, I will never make I will not ever take any position because anything you do is set to assumption that we will be based on a fundamentally mistaken premise, which no I'm for stand on. So we will wait. Once the facts are in, then we'll go from there. Back to you, sir.
Okay, well, thank you. So I'll get to Miss Cole because I know she's sending the press, Mr. Ali, say for answer. But again, but with like what we say, it puts a point where we look at Amusa it come from. Talk say this thing on social media days before this happened. Say if I not release Mr. Paul Conte with the burn the prison, then the incident happened. Whether not coincidence or not, it happened. So people take and say, well, because now more of APC supported and put on social media, we feel that they may not already orchestrate this, they may not plan, and it's not a planned event. So now that way we take them because we don't already see them. And Sylvia Blady said we don't talk a certain thing on social media way, then feel say it inciting. So this happens because of that, and they go after them. Because if you were, I think so we discussed that way in Lima, they go back and forth on social media. So what now you don't take from USA in the come from saying that this make them take that move there.
Okay, so I don't want to play the tit for tat game really, but if for every time somebody says something and somehow something happened, we begin for go back and say, oh, now this them and say, oh, now that's them and say. Do you know how many times we can go back in history where somebody don't talk very loosely, very slackly, and then somehow something to that effect happen? Do you even with the past regime, I remember when Lima de Miholam, unjustifiably so, put in a prison, and then even they go court and this, that. How many things did the supporters not say? How many things did the opposition, how many, inflammatory words they did not use? So for me, I not go based on emotions and waiting people and they say and waiting people and they talk about and whatnot, and then something happen and then I draw me evidence based on that. I'm not saying that in some cases that go consider that as part of your evidence or part of your for say, well, this we don't see this particular trend, so therefore we get cause for belief, say, then can say where there is smoke, there is fire. I understand that. But when we are also doing that, we get to take caution. Sierra Leone has a very turbulent history. Sierra Leone, it's so funny, these two parties, that's how they get to each other. That's how they've been getting at each other. How many political prisoners did the APC not have during, their reigns? And did people think all of a sudden, because President Bio came and he said, I am the president of all Sierra Leoneans, all of a sudden that's going to stop? No, don't kid yourself. It's not going to stop. So long as our primary concern, our primary focus, is not Sierra Leone and the betterment of Sierra Leone first, but somehow in that fabric, you get the settling of scores. These things are going to keep happening. Yes, so to that regard, I understand his point. But another point is that can we, or can an establishment be made? Can it be established that the Minister of Internal Affairs, Deputy Minister of Internal Affairs, Lawrence Lima, can it be established that at 4:30, 5 o'clock, he makes a usual rounds at that place? What were they doing at a set location, when at that time, for all intents and purposes, sometimes if I don't wake the jog, or maybe if I lay down they sleep? What were they doing in that environment at that time? We cannot ignore this fact. What was the SLPP women's leader, Fatmata Sawane, according to her own statement, what was she doing in that location at 3 a.m. in the morning? And then a few hours later, we're hearing, a prison break, a fire, this, anarchy, and that. We cannot ignore some of these things. There are superficial evidence and there are hard evidences. Some of these cannot be ignored in making your statement. And maybe the problem I have with Mr. Ali right now is the fact that he chooses intentionally to amnesias, to create some form of, amnesia moment in his discussion. Like, you are an SLPP man. You have already declared that you have strong connection to the SLPP party and that you are in the know of certain deeds that the ordinary public is not aware of. So when asked a question and we are trying to facilitate some form of discussion and some form of understanding, I think it behoves you to answer directly to the question and say, yes, this is the person and this is their role, and this is, or allegedly, this is what she says. Because a video or whatever can be doctored. Allegedly, yes, this is what had gone on. And this is what we can affirm from the evidences we have. So to be listen, we all can go into Oxford in here, but that will not serve our country right. So maybe what I am appealing to all panelists is to drop the Oxfordian mentality and then let's get to real talking.
Yeah, but like I say, The track for see, because me as I don't get out of the information in too much. I really want to know exactly what caused the riot itself. Because when the team first started and talk say now because of the COVID-19, then put more restriction on the jail. The people in a prison. And then the next thing we know, we say, well, now APC people set them good one. Military come at the prison, fired in at the prison. The time they know is in the later Miss Sane in audio, we talk immediately by 3 o'clock in the morning, and leave and come by 5 o'clock. So the information is all over the place. We need for come and dissect them. I think so. We take a deep breath and put the because people don't tune in. They really want to know the full information what happened. So they allow we not dive into one-on-one now because I really want to forgive. Are they going to the direct questions and answer? I'll do like 1 or 2 minutes so that we go pick something out of her. And we don't get information that we have from yesterday to today, but we don't come in now. And plenty we not sending you from the vice president to the policeman them to the people away who don't get on video. They get their own take to the young man away in prison day. So again, make a come back to Mr. Ali. I know say all man access Miss. Format Sawane because now a female, not just a female wing leader. So when they ask that audio way pull, what's immediately do now the prison by 3 o'clock in the morning? Where to part of the government, get no stake into them, what you go do in a prison. I don't know if you get any information where you go enlighten me about because the technical thing not get the audio, but where you do go plan for the minister you don't take. But what you gather from that, sir?
Fair enough. Again, I listened to the audio.
Yes, sir.
And to the extent that the public is interested in what she has to say and the statements that she made, whether it's her voice or it's not her voice, whether it was done after the incidents or not after the incidents, whether the audio was doctored or not doctored, I am not really at I am not at liberty to actually authenticate or even give any credibility to the statement of Fatmata Sawane as a statement representing the position of the government. It is absolutely not. So I am going to let others give their own point of view in regards to Sawane in position. Again, what I can tell you is what has come from the Minister of Information, is what I have gathered from credible sources. As far as what Famata Sawane has to say, I honestly do not think it serves any purpose here. You guys can do what you may with it. I don't think it serves the purpose to assist the interest of the public to understand exactly what happened on that morning. I can tell you that we can exculpate, we can exclude the possibility of a prison riot on the basis of COVID-19. I can tell you that the evidence, again, preliminary, but the statement from the Secretary General of the Sierra Leone People's Party, since I think the public is interested in gathering some information and in understanding what really transpired, what we have here in terms of the pieces that we are building together to actually develop a theory or an actual case based on factual evidence is that most likely the incitement that was coming from social media, the statement coming from Ousmania and Sané, the involvement of Sylvia Blyden, and the fact that the fire happened as a result of all these things, as a culminating component of all these incitements building to this day. And again, preliminary evidence leading that, in fact, there might very well have been some inside collaborators within the prisons itself that might have teamed up with possible APC operatives. This is a very strong theory as to what possibly might have happened. This is the preliminary supporting evidence that we are beginning to see the government discover in terms of building its case. So everything else about Famata Sawane, which for me serves me no purpose, serves the public no purpose. You can do what you want with what she has to say. I have no comment on that. I don't find it to be, useful in this conversation.
Yes, it is important. Why I said it is important, a couple of days ago, there was already, we already get information, I would say, Lima may they go to prison in the morning. We people need to understand if not true or not. And then what is still happen, if you, because maybe listen to my voice, I don't listen for someone for too long, I don't listen to hear voice. So if income talks say it go there by 5 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning before the riot happen by 7 o'clock, that's not a very important information.
Well, call from and ask him. I cannot speak to the construction. I cannot speak to the construction of a mine. Call him. I'm not going to comment on it.
I understand. I'm just asking for your view. If you don't understand, I understand.
I really don't have a view, and I would rather not comment on what she has to say. It bears no relevance to the discovery of what I think is relevant information as we piece together what may have happened in this situation.
Okay, I respect that, because I mean, Jeffrey said you got any information, but where you know that I respect where they come from. So, Mr. Iskandri, allow you look at the other point of the argument when you're talking about the prisoner they wouldn't die. People and talk say, well, the presidential guard them come down there for camp, then they criticize the presidential guard.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I think we will correct that story. The New York Times and Reuters don't say 5-9 die. 7-9 die. 5 prisoners and 2 officers. I don't believe it's 12 though.
The vice president, I got a video say vice president ask directly the president tell and say about 11.
Well, I mean, can we trust the New York Times report? Somebody else may have said that.
Trust the vice president more than New York, because now we the New York Times.
Trust the New York Times more than your vice president?
No. It says somebody tell the vice president, and also the vice president say.
But
it says somebody tell. Is it possible that the person will tell the vice president not getting the right information? But anyway, we can move on to that. We can verify that. Move on, sir. No go.
I just wait for the team ready, so we'll play a little man go see, because I'll let all man see then we all will get everything from waiting we don't get from the we all up and get our information in there. So like I say, the presidential guy, people accuse them, say, well, they're not supposed to come there. But again, we all understand, say, fire me, they go to the prison, and they don't overrun the prison officers them. So at that point, they understand that they need any means for stop the prison, make it not escape, make the thing not escalate. So what now you take about, say, where they come and use a harm bodyguard and come on now the presidential when our status we mean very short, according to the a very short distance, so that they forcibly reach the able for stop the thing and stop the massacre. So what do you say about that, sir?
I mean, yes, I can speak to that.
Mr. Ali, I want to ask Mr. Ali Iskandri, because I know say yeah, because I know say the other side. I need for give him the question from the other side as well, sir.
No, definitely.
Let Mr. Ali speak, because we need to give him enough rope to hang himself.
Fair enough. I appreciate that. Listen, if you really begin to build the case, you go maybe understand, say, it was the right thing to do. Me believe, say, the most elite force in Australia right now, the force where they guard the president. In a situation where you believe that the security at Pademba Road may have been compromised, may have been infiltrated, there might have been some betrayal within the security at Pademba Road, and there are high-profile prisoners there. I think any reasonable person will understand why the presidential guard came there. I know even, again, I go just left them at that, but I think it's reasonable for us to understand that based on intelligence, and if you really want to secure Pademba Road, if you feel like there's compromise and somehow betrayal within the security apparatus in the prison, it makes every sense that perhaps the most elite force in the country, now the one where you go send for can protect high-profile prisoners them. I mean, it is as simple as that.
All right, Mr. Iskandri, I will hand over to you now, sir.
Okay.
Until I hang myself enough, Mr. Iskandri.
No, you know, hang yourself yet. We just don't give you enough. So, you see, maybe I think like a lawyer, and I should. I look at facts. Let me tell you, the fact that certain APC SLPP operatives were in the jail before the fire tells you that they knew what was going to happen before it happened. They were in the jail, on the premises of the jail, when the fire actually occurred. You understand? Now, I kind of like forget the question that you asked, but before I get to that, so you go re-ask them again. You see, I love all of my Sierra Leonean brethren. That includes Mr. Emmanuel Ali. I find him to be very humorous. But I also find that he's disingenuous, particularly when it comes to issues with regards to our country. Somebody needs to tell Mr. Ali, country first. Country first. You see, Mr. Ali, you must not take our intelligence and think you're smarter than this group of people here. You are so willing to tell us that you relied on the public statements of the SLPP Secretary General. You relied on that. But then you want to tell us, when we bring to your attention that the chairlady of the women's wing of your party was in the jail before the incident happened, when she had no business to be there, now you want to distance yourself from that. You can't accept the evidence that works for you and want to push away the evidence that doesn't work for you.
That's right.
That's what you're trying to do. And in a way, in this part of the world, they call that trying to insult our intelligence. And I'm a highly intelligent Sierra Leonean man. I don't think I'll let you do that to me. That's number one. Number two, you see, one of the statements you made earlier was that Paulo admitted to carrying a gun. Now, I taught evidence in law school for 13 years. Admission to carrying a gun into the State House does not raise the issue of intent to commit treason. Now, I don't want you to argue with me on that because you will not win. You may need to get someone from the SLPP apparatus in Sierra Leone that is prosecuting this case to come on here and argue with me on those issues that I know very, very well. Now, on to your question again, and I missed the tenor of it, Mr.
The question was the presidential guard wouldn't come, the prison for come. We talk about the captain earlier, we say then the hail him say na EU. So people in the counter that say, well, the State House is very close to the prison. So now the first response we will get for let go down there for mitigate the problem. So what you take about that? Say, well, why then it's time for say why make them criticize them? We at the situation for one for get out of hands, people want for escape them and born the prison. Then we don't over power the guard them. So now I make them try for use heavy power for stop them back.
Mr. Tarali.
Yes, sir.
When one is armed with a weapon, a gun, one has a duty under the law to use that weapon in a manner that would not necessarily cause death, except, of course, if their life is in danger.
Yeah.
Hey, tell me, Mr. Tarali, why is it that it is the president's armed guards that are the most armed? If Mr. Ali says they are the most elite soldiers, and they are the most weaponized. What did this president they afraid so? When I no more forget all the weapons they have around now. You know, let's rationalize this thing and let it make some sense. You understand? Pademba Road Prison is halfway between Hillcourt Road, Usai President Day, and State House.
Yeah.
Usai soldier man and come out from. Let me tell you what happened. When the fire started, word had gone out that, hey, Paulo and the guy for escape, Paulo and the guy for escape. What those people came in there to do was to assassinate them. But what they found out was that the double gates that enclosed Clarkson House, where Paulo was, none of those double gates were open. That is why they did not kill Paulo Conte that day, or that is why they did not kill Abu Darami, and that's why they did not kill Abat George Williams. They went in there with one purpose. It was to assassinate them. Mr. Tarali, remember, I know say Mr. Ali no will like this, but a people who forget their history are doomed to repeat it.
Yeah.
December 29, 1992. Now the same excuse then do and say there was a shooting up at Jubail Wells Strasse in Kabasa, Lord. Now for that reason, there was no shooting. That I have so many family members on that street. And I mean, if they shoot God in Kabasa, Lord, trust me. Me uncle they were about 500 yards from Kabasa, Lord, before you. It was the same excuse they used. This SLPP government, this particular leader was a part of that NPRC government. They used that excuse to go into the jail. They chose the people they wanted to kill, got them out of the jail, including Salami Koka's girlfriend, not be married, women pregnant at the time. You understand? And I'm telling you this, some of us are going to haunt you guys all over the world, including taking you to the ICC, because we're tired and done with this. Salone get for go before, and we're not in reverse again. You understand? This is what some of us are calling for. You must pay to each and every prisoner that was killed some amount of money to compensate their families. You must pay for each and every prison officer that was killed some amount of money to compensate them for their damages. You must, with immediate effect, release Sylvia Blyden from jail. You must, with immediate effect, your government I'm talking to, must, with immediate effect, release Paulo Conte's wife from jail. Must, with immediate effect, bring the trial of Paulo Conte to fruition. We know you are not going to win. Some of us know what the evidence is going to be. We have reviewed it. I have also reviewed the evidence with regards to about George Williams and Abu Dhabi, and I know one thing about it. There is no bystander liability to murder. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now stop treating us in a manner that's depreciatory and keep out that Oxfordian rubbish.
Well, what they can do, they can ask the team, them play one of the prisoners, them today where it came out and Guignon. We talked to some plenty soldiers, a couple of soldier man when they go investigate what happened. So Mr. Kutubu, I know I don't keep on out for a lawyer because I mean, I like with Mr. Ali and Mr. Ali, they go back, we get more information from the body. Can now after that, they will bring them back in for we all analyze that video there and let we know, we get we on take from them. So I will ask the technical team, make them play the video of one of the prisoners, them which happened from the morning till the till it happened. And the boss of the plead say, the plead for in life say make them secure them because they ain't ready for tell the truth, but if it's make no kill up. So I'll go to technical team. If you have video don't get it, you allow we go ahead and show them. They will come back and analyze that video, please.
And you go with her. But I'm ready for total factory. Now there. Then they open Paulo by 4:30. They come in the cell one day. Now me there the cell. You know the password. Inmates are there. And not here. Because this back gate, they don't use anymore. So when they pass with inmates, that from up here now walk and go to that other black gate. So that black gate over now, the lion gate. And then they pass with inmates. Immediately that block over soon, cell 4 over soon.
What's not the block in name?
We by first block.
We by first, okay.
And they meet it. So they pass with nobody in the jail. We are not the see. Due to the gate when you did. Due to the ceremony that they see the gate and they see over to Ocean, they see everybody. But I'm not going to see back of Clarkson because we saw the critical side. Anybody that pull up here and then they pass with her. You understand? I begin to force her.
So the one when they move with Paolo, pull out 4:30, and then come back.
I know them by face now. At the point they all phone her.
4:30. What do you mean by 4:30? 4:30
a.m. 4:30 a.m. Yeah, I mean early in the morning. Sorry, early in the morning.
Now they keep pull up.
Yes. Because we can normally pray. We can pray by them 5. This is a Muslim prayer. They can lecture first from the start
5:30.
Because after Muslim don't pray, now really Christian pray. Come in, I mean the Christian prayer. After Muslim don't pray, we can get chance. But they can lecture first. Don't go to the issues here. Yes, sir. Without a hit differ. Without a differ, sir. Now, police officer there. What do you make us say a police officer? The Laguna instances now, sir. This morning, within the jail, everybody they inside the cell. Nobody, not ever then all man they inside. Don't the padlock there, and I will prove me right. Say now brand new padlock then all at the jail. And I can go check out and I can tell you back. The one who jail, a brand new padlock. Any time on a see paloko on a naki for them. Pawita tell us on a lad like brand new palok, brand new one. Brand new palok. Brand new palok. Na ndina DJ.
Trousers,
Yeah, this one. Yeah, this one. Yeah.
Wait down. Chairman.
No, the commander they talk. I get what you commander.
Let the man talk. You trust them? Of course. Hey,
Slow down, no food. Tear gas.
no, it's steady.
But that is the guy say we can never go back.
Because police officers, them will make sure say the life left here.
Alright, go talk. Then go survive.
Look. I get 2 weeks. I get 2 weeks.
There's not a
Yes.
You know, grow up. Let's say pass away to market. Pass up pull
Me bright voice. The tear gas.
they say one go sabotage. The one guy as I remember the guy we talk say one sabotage. He say na like to you and go
allow them
something like that. I remember the guy. Who go and point am out again.
And no me na the men in the area.
No, he did. As I remember, if you ask us, if you want to I say like give the guy, you not give him.
You not give okay.
Boss and go.
I swear to you, things they want kill me. None of me
Talk now.
this morning. We all be under lock. Because after one period on, everybody inside. Okay, normally they can open jail 10 minutes after 7, 15 minutes after 7, and they can open normally jail. Everybody come on and do can't wait pool. Come out to a man get facility to the flush. Only clerks in the facility to the flush. Normally they can open every day. For me, can't jail the open normally so. When the open normally, no problem not there with any police officer. Okay, we did today. Then we open the jail. 10 minutes after 7, 15 minutes after 7, 8 o'clock. 8:30. 9 a.m. over now, a clerks in block. Then we get called OCR. They bang the doors. They say, OCR, what's happened to you now? We look at pieces of the smell. And so man go. Then the piece they call them 5, 6, 7. They can flop. So I don't know. Thank you, sir. They can open we come to them outside. So we want to call to attention. They send over there. Not for talk. We are in today. And Nigeria for one thing that happen. It's more waiting. The moment they talk so now, one get information from me. We pull out from this. I've been talking. When one part of me and the salary, and they give me information. We tell me so later they explain to national. They say, sir, they say, OCR, what you know for opening? I OCR say we don't want to. If OCR the talk said because OCR be one open, because OCR will be one open the jail for everything go correct. But the regional and yalla we feel juice. I came identify one point and yalla we feel juice. And come say yeah, nobody will help you at today. Una, with the lock una 2 weeks. Say what we do. That's ending now. We don't talk to them. We don't want. They don't come with my first lock. They talk to me. They be in this OCR compound. We hang up. I say, but wait till you do so. Una open me out to we proof. If you open me in the compound self, una left me inside the block cell. Una give you food. They say yeah today, no food, no open. Say eh. Sure say no food, no open up here. Okay, forget what you talk. Left there. Then same people will make that noise that claxing. Anybody will cost. And they make noise. They say una for open the TV. Now OCR, now regional commander meets other officers. Then why we know them by face. Then build the officer and the team. Then go and the cell and open up. But the cell where they put the voice, they miss the cell. Then go open the other cell. The cell where they go open now. The name will resist the order. The name will resist the people. The name will stay with the people. So then the people that run after the commander. For saying that German open palok. No. They carry the bunch. Some palok the poil or normally the poil some palok. But some palok they kill the open of it. I will prove on that. Some palok no poil. Yes, sir. Some palok no poil. I dey prove on that. I dey go to a workout palok there. If they put kill the poil, Allah like power. Some palok well. So the moment they take the key, the opium is on side. Opium. Naso German and take commonality. Don't they don't commonality now? We all know them, you know. Then we call OCR. Then the Obayana will up here. Then the Obayana will up here. Now we call OCR to attention. So OCR, come talk to me. Let this year, we amend this year. You know, OCR, we don't there. Like we not expect say for do something correct and here. Now make we talk, call now, can talk to you say OCR. What you I do so not correct. OCR still not take me to attention. Done the regional. I want to choose and they recognize it in the crowd. Tell them, now they begin locate the officers now. From let's say now, then come with them, rapid response units, then come with everything in a shield. They begin exchange stone with me. And then first we get exchange stone with me for long push come up. And you know, so we don't do with nothing. The stone take her up so. Just on Saturday, remember, begin retaliate stone. Begin stone to stone. And now almost minutes. Then the police officer there. They tell no gentleman no cost line get you to this main gate. Now see smoke to commence that workshop. Smoke commence that workshop. Big smoke. When the officer they do over the smoke fire, smoke come off us, smoke come off us. Smoke come off us. When none officer no cost, even then one gets there from before you from there to the final, no gentleman no cost, then gets in it. Then light the office. Then light the office. The workshop. Our workshop is no matter. Then light the workshop. The workshop begin cage. So Saturday man begin put voice. Hey, now the ball no workshop sir. Not of you, not of you, not of you. We only up here. Now the ball no workshop sir. Not of you, not of you. They begin out now. That's now they open this gate. They begin out now, one to one. Right out now. And not today. OCR come with them, same officers in over so part. But the officers now, they want to be the story, they don't be too much. But we don't get weapon, and then we get the things about ammo. So we are Germany will go out and say, so we count now. But before this thing they happen for us, now the instances, OCR and the regional, the job be the normal from the day Paul no carry it. And when I all go testify to me say this thing will happen to and no one will happen Nigerian. Thank you. You see the officer there, the police officer there, bad people there. And they incite the jail man for letting them go take Paulo for good at all. Wait till we can say so. So certain time then they can pull Paulo. Then they can pull Paulo in the morning. Early in the morning for something they can pull up and go to. I can go. But me I receive. Me I always declare because now we organize prayer and the block. And then they pass with this man here and before so many person. So then King Peter say, I know the sea. And while we all know say, because of that pull voice. A pull voice. I say, hey, so they go to Paulo, so they are money. I give this stand away to make them why I now don't want in life. Because they say, then they talk out to themselves, say, I will tell you the fact. And me not go afraid for telling you the fact. A pull voice for money. Say, hey, so they go to Paulo, so they not talk to me. Paulo wear one black cap. But me wear Sabia say na Paulo is normal. Wear one black cap. The officer in crowd. You know they crowd per person. For them, you don't detect the person in the middle. But me and Maui, I upstairs there at the sea. So I see in the past time in the counter. By then 5 something, we went to go down.
The prison officer, whether they involved by that, even not true sir.
I'm not this about an officer.
No, but talk to me, I'm a corner.
I'm not this, I'm not going to say my name, but at the point of I'm not a problem about I do not correct information. Me, I need them.
So, Paulo, you come out and come.
How much o'clock they can bring a can inside?
Okay, then 5. So
like you take out then 3, 4.
Yes, sir.
1 hour, 2 hours, and bring
They come back.
Alright. You see the director?
We will call you for investigation.
Director of prison.
I make quite a talk for us. So I don't make them people there. I'm not left me them people there.
Honorable, this man should not be here.
No, it's not. It's fine.
Colonel,
He knows a lot.
They want to be an eyewitness.
Yes.
All right, well, thank you, Mohammed, for family. I know some don't see the video, some not see them. Let me quick try for play them. Again, people don't forget difference of opinion back as well. So you can follow we all. So last time with Mr. Kutubu, if you don't watch the follow the video, what's in your own take about what's in the guys say, whether you believe them or not, just your own personal take, sir.
Thank you. Not so much the video, not really the issue there for me. Sorry, video. Well, the issue there for me, perhaps hold on, I will just more smart way after you talk. Say no, before now. Or before we go we therefore consolidate, things into focus and perspective. They will on the waters. They'll say, you know what? Now, look, actually move that contraption when they call I don't move and go before now. Go don't get tired of all that here. But before I do that, I just, throw in some things quick. I carefully hear as far as they talk. See the climate of blame, the crucibles of chaos and disorder in the country, the logic of lawlessness, I say all that. Of course, they're true. But then we have to roll a little back. We have to roll back. We have to roll back a little back and see. Compare Mr. Bio. I've never liked Shaka Stevens. I'll make him clear. Neither is Michael Oman. I've never been. People already listen to me. They say I've been take them on. But there's one thing I can credit two guys there for. Shaka Stevens and it's Michael Oman. This will get forget this credit. Then everybody know who was in charge. Who not in charge? They don't know. If anybody not believe, say Shaka Stevens made sure people knew who was in charge. Let them go ask the Mamioko Street guys then. No, we go to Johnny Grant. Now, Wellington Street, I don't go first. We go to the Mamioko Street guys then. We go to Brigadier John Magua. We go to Fonadim. We go to Mohamed Kazali. We go to let them find out that under Shaka Stevens, as much as in a dictator, but one thing I can tell anybody, they was law and order in the place. Somebody was in charge. But for one thing, even your ministers they say, make sure say, now work for them. He was not afraid of any. The only people that would have Shaka Stevens if we say, well, me know guys like Austin Cole, Maje. Well, Pamoga they be take a licking daddy because I tell you they go okay, they stop by for go tell the paro. So make sure say none of the ministers are not to party them. So that right there, who that they in charge. That goes for and Michael Oman. Everybody know who that they in charge. If anybody not believe, just roll back and say go. The problem about Mr. Bio, even today we talk him. We don't know if people can get something over this man. We don't know what thing they get on this man here. Where either they not hold them captive to the extent, they see the leadership where the country they look for this year. I'm not saying it. I'm not saying the leadership in a sense. The very first thing we have is we're fundamentally troubling, we're missing. And many times I don't call it out. For let's get a president, we not talk to the society. We not talk. I find that a little too troubling. So, well, how we know? I mean, we all are philosophers then. We have to read the president in mind. Me personally, not to a philosopher. So I don't really get that kind of an intellect and ability for read your mind. Except when you tell me, then I can extrapolate something from what you tell me. But once you don't tell me, I'm not going to read. The problem that the country leadership,
Oh, Mr. Kutubu, what I tell was that this video we watch, what do you get from the video though? You believe the
Well, this is exactly where Nadia they come, wrap up that Nadia they go so.
Okay.
Go normally when we talk, I only like for talk in historical terms by way of comparative analysis. I know one day when Shaka Stevens in power say there's a jailbreak or there's an attempt for riot in prison. I know one day that I spent a number of time as SALONE with Shaka Stevens been in power. Because what happened? Somebody was in charge. The inference, the case where they lay now, somebody's not in charge of things. So the animal farm mentality take hold in the political firmament of the nation. There's nobody in charge. So that went for Alex Baikoma. When you know one day, say people there was this happened, that happened. No, because the reason being somebody was here. The problem here, we now spread to the video and for example, I just hear say, I know that I'm yes, 9 deaf, I know, but I believe some is not deaf. That then they take the mango out and then bring them back in. I want to see who said that will happen if Shaka Stevens been in power, a prisoner they will take and go out and bring her back in. Or if Ernest Baikoma been in power, they take prisoners and go out and bring her. I really, I hope for that, but that day would have never happened because it's not possible. All this happened because of the lack of leadership in the country. They don't weigh the president. They don't know Sinama. He is not in charge of anything. So everybody does what he did. So now I lead to that video. This so that in the end. And you look at I build the case now. If anybody not believe, you roll back and see how Shaka Stevens and tell me. I'd like content the way they make back. Shaka Stevens put her in place. There's no hand about it. He put her in place. If I am. So it shows that somebody was in charge. It makes clear who that in charge. The premise of the argument that all this we don't need to not get anybody in charge. President Houston in charge. I'm your argument and I lead to that video too. So thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Matilda, I'll get to you. You said don't watch the video. What do you take from the video? Try because also yeah, okay. If you will wrap up within 5 to 6 minutes, I think that would be great. Over to you, ma'am.
Okay, so for me, I watched this video. My first question is, what's the purpose of the video? And my second question is, how are they going to, or how do they intend to use the revelations made in this video? Because is this video supposed to be part of the evidence gathering? If so, is that how you gather evidence for such situation? The person where they give a recount of a story here, we can clearly see say he self-defect for in aid. He say, una no left me na ya, una no left me na ya, una no left me na ya. Now, the una no left me na ya so statement, is it a statement to get away with, or waiting it actually recount? I'm not saying it's not entirely factual. I'm saying, how did we deduce facts from fabrication here? In the video, you can clearly hear where somebody, they say, we can trust them, the other one, they say, no, this nami bobo, nami bobo. So if we they get in the gathering of evidence, right there, we they see the you can trust her and the this nami bobo mentality at play, who are we to trust? Who are we to believe? And if this is not part of the evidence gathering or supposed evidence gathering, why was it released to the public? Why was it released to the public? Because in such situation, when they try for gather hard facts, they try for gather hard evidence. I mean, me not go law school, I can always tell people them, but I read a little bit about law to say, I mean, at least I read law ethics. Okay, and Mr. Iskandar Deya, your legal mind, legal luminary, tell me, do you abeg? Is that how you go about collecting in such situations? This situation are a very, now a situation where if we're not careful, can break or make, Sierra Leone. Let's not fool ourselves. This is a heightened situation, a very sensitive situation. You as a so-called, me don't know if you call himself lieutenant or colonel or whatever you identify as colonel. Now, so you they gather evidence. If even self you know a criminal, a criminal prosecutor within the army, is that how they taught you to gather evidence? And is that how they taught you to isolate facts? Now, this person in statement, be it factual or fictitious, there is a lot of holes you can poke at it. A lot of holes you can poke at it. So again, the question begs is that what was the intent behind this questioning and the release of such? Now that mommy get for say.
Well, thank you. I get to Mr. Emmanuel Alisa. Over to you, what you want to take about that video, sir?
Oh, sorry. Sorry, Mr. Whoever is going to answer, and then Mr. Istakange, I get a question for ask you. I know say you were building a case, but you make a statement where say, the intent was to assassinate Paulo. How affirmative or how certain are you in your deduction in making such conclusion? What evidence, prima facie or whatever, do you have at this point to make such assertion?
Okay, I think did I have the floor?
Well, yeah, go ahead and answer them away, Mr. Scanning, they answer the question. I go ahead one didn't know as well.
Okay, my take on the recorded video in prison. Again, we live in a very fluid world with instant information disseminated within seconds across the world. I realize my colleagues here have, struggled a bit to make sense of what could possibly be evidence. I mean, again, then go get for evaluate.
Yeah, to don't lose some again. We'll be tough again. We'll come back soon. I'm going to go about a couple of seconds. We'll come back. So we're done in thought before we go to the next guest.
Be factual, may be valid, or may have been self-serving. I would allow the public to make sense of what it is. I think it speaks volume, in my opinion, and I think you could sense some genuine, truthful information coming out of that that video. But I think I would not presume to be one to make judgment for the public on that issue. But on a couple other issues, even where Kutubu make regarding President Bio in leadership, I am troubled that almost a quarter into the 21st century, people are somehow nostalgic about the tragic and terrible decades of Stevens in regime, more in lack of understanding of governance, which led our nation to the state we lead to horrible years of war. And then, of course, Kuruma. I mean, say what you may, we live in a society that is governed by the rule of law. You have separation of powers. President Bio is the executive branch. He's not the judiciary. He's not the military. That is not his role. I mean, it is very possible that there are cracks in institutions that can be fixed. But for my colleagues to be nostalgic about the tragic decades of APC and Stevens gives me cause to wonder as to what kind of a progress we believe our society ought to be making. And again, this whole idea of I am non-partisan, I am apolitical, for me it is a rather pedestrian excuse and cop-out in terms of what real engage in citizenship is all about. I am totally not impressed. We live in a society where we should have points of views and understand the ideals and philosophies of political parties and the premise upon which political parties ask for mandates. And yes, Emmanuel makes no apologies that I am a diehard SLPP who believes that the salvation of Sierra Leone, the development of Sierra Leone, the economic expansion of Sierra Leone can only come if SLPP is the party that is in power. And so, again, when people start, exuding this emotion of apolitical perception, for me, we are making excuses about our responsibilities and obligations to connect the civic space in which we can make society better and engage our ideas and debate our principles and philosophies in terms of what we believe is good for society. Don't hesitate to say you're APC if you are. Don't hesitate to say if you're SLPP, and stand your ground and defend what they stand for. I mean, this is what a republic is all about. So, I mean, I would pause there and allow you guys to give your own take on it, on things.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ali. It's over to you, Mr. Eskani. We'll talk about the video and the question Ms. Matilda asked as well. Thank you, sir.
Let's start off with the video. This man was being interviewed by, apparently, those people are military intelligence people that we are talking to. And I think one of those people I recognize at least two people's voices there. One person in voice where I recognize, now somebody where I don't meet before, informally, where Yankuba Eskiabiu, now the deputy manager na wataki, now that person will say, Nami Bobo, you understand? Na Yankuba that. Yankuba na general manager na wataki. A riot take place na Padema Road prison. We don't get nothing for do with Wataki. What need they do when they investigate this riot? Now, the other person, now a military investigator,
yeah,
the lieutenant colonel, where I know very well, I don't recall his name. Now, picture this. You are that video. You're surrounded by people with guns, all drawn cocked. Then they ask you questions. Listen, if na lie the man been the lie, you go see another video. The man say, at some point in time, decide when this fire starts, non-prisoner not be there. Una all hear that. Non-prisoner not be there, decide when the fire starts. The only people that will be there, na prison officers then. Now let's segue into Sister Matilda's question. It is, I made that statement. It is from experience, my dear sister. I was aware that this particular minister or deputy minister, they come to Palo every morning, most mornings. Tell me what a deputy minister or a minister or a member of the executive branch of government, they can do now the prison of cell and visit, asking they open the prison cell and have access to this person where una arrest and charge for treason. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to quite a lot of other people. It probably makes sense to someone like my brother, Mr. Emmanuel Ali. Wake up, man. You talking to? Listen, listen, brothers and sisters. I worked at the special court. I remember the evidence I heard. I investigated a lot of things. Let me tell you something. This is the modus operandi of the SLPP party. First, they arrest you on false charges. And when you're in jail, now, the next thing that's going to happen to Paulo, if we don't all stand up, is they're going to say he is attempting a coup. Yeah, Mr. Emmanuel Ali, Kamina and Kante, we say, the APC possibly has something to do with it. It's all mere speculation. The truth of the matter is that there was an intent by this SLPP government to go in there, accuse Paulo, accuse Abu Bakar Darami, accuse George Herbert Williams, who are the top three high-stakes political prisoners there, of having attempted a prison break. And then on that basis, shoot them on the spot. Do you understand? That's my take, my sister. And it's my take from putting together all the evidence in this case. When I see the APC, the SLPP women's leader, someone at the highest echelon of the SLPP party, at the jail at 3 o'clock in the morning. When I see Minister Lima, who is known in Sierra Leone to be a psychopath, is the guy that's threatening people to kill them, guy that's, when the APC arrested Lima, I was one of the voices for Lima because I was looking at it as unjust. When the APC arrested Ali Kaba, I stood up and spoke up against the APC. They locked me up. I think you all know that. You understand? So I don't talk on behalf of party. I talk on behalf of the country. I talk on behalf of justice. And I think what I'm saying in Sierra Leone is that the same mistakes that the APC made, the SLPP is about to compound on that mistake in a very, very worse and brutal way. Here's my suggestion. Maybe Mr. Ali can take it to the top echelons of the party. Tell President Bio, say, before he hires somebody, give them a copy of Truth and Reconciliation report. Every minister for read a copy of the Truth and Reconciliation report and see why Sierra Leone went to war. And maybe they will change, because the people that are going to be dying is not us. We are out here. The people that are going to be dying is our helpless people. The people that are going to be dying are prisoners that are unarmed, that are just going to be facing a firing squad of soldiers pumped up enough to be able to say, oh, I captain day and I saved the day. I go inside and I shoot them. Shoot people that will not get gun in their hand, not get nothing in their hand. If they get 100 soldier man go inside it, you understand? With truncheon, they before saved 11 people. 100 soldier man. The truth of the matter is, the people revolted in the prison because the conditions in the prison are such that they cannot take it no more. That is simply the truth. You see that man in the video, you know what he say? Maybe Mr. Ali Misa, the prison officers, they can tell and say, we they lock up and we're not giving enough food. That is so inhumane. Mr. Emmanuel Ali, if you've been in a jail, what I can tell you that, say, they lock you up, you're not going to jail. You're not go, we're not give you food. In a jailway made for 2 people, certain on a 20 DD. Made for 2 people, on a 20, they go toilets now 1 bucket. And it did it. Now they want to sleep. Now they want to eat. Now, Mr. Ali, come on, my brother. I expect a whole lot from people like you that are intelligent Sierra Leoneans. Come join us, the people standing up for Sierra Leone.
Well, I'll get back to Mr. Ali because I know you don't make plenty allegations there. So over to Mr. Ali, maybe we'll just talk on that.
Again, you know,
excuse me, is Mr. Ali, and I'm Ali.
Mr. Ali.
You know, I have always enjoyed discussions and conversations with my learned friend, but I cannot help myself to sympathize with his despondency with the APC party. And I suppose being a C4C member now, a party, in my opinion, that is merely surviving on life support, Ms. Kandri perhaps finds it necessary to play the apolitical love your country card as an excuse to fully stand for an ideal and a principle.
Some Creole people, the way they are Creole and they talk.
Please do not interrupt me when I'm talking. I didn't do that to you, Matilda.
I think she's right. You have to talk to the public, like the people that you reach. Not tell you what great Sabi book that is. Trust me.
Okay, fair enough. Let me finish. You did a good job disrupting the trend of my thought. I mean, that's APC tactics, right? Both of you succeeded. But again, no, listen, the truth of the matter is, whatever Mr. Eskandre has to say, again, I sympathize with him, and playing this card of the apolitical, individual, fair enough. But with the try for talk say, we are trying to understand the case from the preliminary investigation that is ongoing. Going back to that fellow video, you can make what you may of it, but I think it speaks volume. Now, there's a lot that is loaded to it, right? We are trying to understand the case from the preliminary investigation. Yes. Video, you can make what you may of it, but I think it speaks volume.
Okay.
Without the echo.
Okay, not on off. Thank you. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, yeah. Again, back to Kutubu in talk about the president and his approach. I think Sierra Leoneans ought to be elated and extremely gratified about a president who allow the constitution and the rule of law for prevail in a country. If President Bio be there into every individual situation into the country, everybody before the talk say this guy is a totalitarian. The fact that he allows processes to work themselves out, people have names and things to say about him. Our country, my friend, if you look at the evidence, if you look at the policies in place, if you reflect on 11 years of Kuruma, 20 some years or 17 years of Stevens, and many other years of, whether it's 9 years of Momo, these were the years of really pillaging, destroying, deconstructing, not just the structure of our society, but even the mentality and the emotion and the feelings of we nation. Today, everything that President Bio is doing is rebuilding a country that was severely destroyed and raped by APC. This government gets evidence for sure time and again of a government that is in control, a government that allows the law to prevail. If Paulo Conte, Herbert Williams, and other people that don't commit crime, they have committed crime. I'm pretty sure a competent court of law in Sierra Leone go judge them. The evidence, go be, the conviction or the acquittal will be based on the evidence, right? And again, in spite of what you say about Emmanuel, Emmanuel loves country as much as you love country. But Emmanuel is of the strongest conviction that the only way Sierra Leone moves forward is if we believe in this principle of inclusion, policies that move the nation forward, contrary to this idea of few people benefiting themselves. I think this is really the debate that we are engaged in. And we go back to the evidence and see who that don't move SALONE forward, who that don't bring SALONE backward. And to the independent people in Sierra Leone, I grant you your independence. I am as much as patriotic as you are. SLPP people are just as patriotic as you are. We just have a disagreement of opinion that building Sierra Leone, moving Sierra Leone forward would only happen if we are grounded and founding ourselves on the basis of what SLPP stand for. And yes, the rule of law will prevail, and the people will be brought to justice. We're responsible for everything will happen, but preliminary evidence shows that, in fact, this was a prison break attempt. That is just what it is. I pause and I hand it over back to you.
Thank you very much, sir. We get callers then, and also they can round up to give them sponsor. I can't Matilda. I will give you, okay, like you 1 minute. Go ahead. You cannot say you.
Before we caller them are very sorry. They can't take una just now. But you see, today at least una go give me one thing. Una can say I can talk big English mixer with Creole. At least me I mix Creole with Creole. Eh? This guy, listen. The reason,
but you're not here to focus on the manual. Be a little professional now. You should. No, wait a minute. Mr. Moderator, let her speak to the issues. You're not here. No. You're not here to speak on my personality. I wasn't told I had to speak Creole. So, Mr. Moderator, fix that right now, please. That's not why I'm here.
No, just the issues.
Thank you. Stay on the issues. Stay on the issues.
Over me, I will not allow you to dominate me just because you think it is a woman speaking.
Stay on the issues then.
Or speak over me, mister. You are mistakenly and so mistakenly wrong if you think for 1 second.
Let me not go personal. Let me not go personal.
Exactly. This is not what we do here. This is not what I do. That's not why I'm here.
I am addressing an issue, so allow me address an issue.
Okay, well then speak to me. Speak to the issue.
Opinion, you cannot teach me or tell me how to speak or what to speak or say.
Seems like you're the one doing it. You're the one telling me what to say and how to say it.
I have allowed you to exercise your freedom to speak.
Without being personal.
Opinion.
And so don't be. Speak to the issues. Please continue.
Therefore, sir, allow me to speak and exercise my rights so freely as you have.
To the issues, please continue.
The reason why Sierra Leone finds itself, the reason why makes SALONE find itself in this kind of position, make I tell you now one thing. The one thing we contributes to what makes SALONE find itself in this kind of position, now because we get a population, I tell you, we get a population where more than half of the population, they're not educated. They're not sabi talk English. They're not sabi Oxford, they're not sabi Cambridge, they're not sabi Webster. Waiting and sabi na Creole, waiting and sabi na Timini, waiting and sabi na Limba, waiting and sabi na Soso na Madingo. Okay? Now then they sabi talk.
That's got nothing to do with the issues here. That's got nothing to do with the argument.
Where we people them before can't map they talk to them, then they bring Oxford, then they can't fool their head bata with thing them where they not understand, thing them where they're not able to relate to. So therefore they find it so difficult. They are doing things in opposition contrary to what is beneficial for them, because when we as the educated elites, we come in front of them, we do not submit, we do not humble ourselves to come to their level and speak their language and say things that they will understand and reason with them. That is why we have found ourselves in this type of situation. And to you, sir, to directly address your point, just because I intentionally choose not to associate myself to a political party with a political party. That means I don't like my country. It don't mean I don't like my country because I not choose to associate myself to a political party. Because I don't associate myself to a political party, no mean for say I don't go do the thing the way I supposed to do for my country. No mean for say I don't want my country for better. No mean for say I don't want the good of my country. If you want to associate to a political party, that is your choice. So be it your choice. Make that choice and make it be known and wave it so fearlessly. But do not for 1 second try to impose or interject into the minds of people and think them foolish or stupid just because they choose to declare and stand, as bystanders in the political, banter and political choosings of your choice. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So now we get the caller because we get plenty of callers. Do you have the caller then tonight? I will make them 1 minute. So do you go straight to the point because we get plenty people in the line. We want to have a go now a few times before we left, and we guess them, and also I don't hold them. So do you allow we do 1 minute straight to the point, and then we'll get to the next one. Let me get the first caller tonight. Good evening, caller. What's the name outside the call from, please?
Yeah, this is Mamadou. Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Mamadou. Go ahead. 1 minute, sir. Go to the point, sir.
Yeah, I just want for my fellow Sierra Leoneans, they already in this panel. Waiting, being a party member or being an executive of a political party, therefore do with security arrangements of the country. What make I ask this question? If somebody like Fatmata Sawane claims he been there in a Panemba prison at 3 a.m. in the morning, and we know that the Panemba prison is only for prison officers and prisoners. So if somebody commits a crime, it's under the judiciary holding, when are the prison authorities plus the lawyers and the courts that then get the arrangement to them place them there. What do you do there as an ordinary women's wing leader for a political party at that time of the day? Has that become constitutionally accepted in Sierra Leone that since you are a party member, automatically you get the authority for enter prison when anyhow, anytime? So this is one of the questions I get. The other question is, how can we as Sierra Leoneans differentiate our loyalty to political parties and our loyalty to our country? Because people come to authority in a country through political means, through political party means, because of the constitution we govern with. So when that happens, you are no longer there as a political party, but you are there as a government officer of Sierra Leone. Whether you are a minister or an MP or whatsoever role and give for play. So why this to happen, and how can we break this cycle? This is the question I get. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, sir. The panel I'm going to answer at the end of the program. Let me get to the next one. Good evening, caller. What's the name outside the call from, please? Good evening, caller. What's the name outside the call from? Good evening, caller. What's the name outside the call from?
My name is Lance Anasako, and I call from Reading, Pennsylvania.
Hey, Mr. Sako, go ahead. What are you take on this program tonight, sir?
Well, first of all, I want to commend on all, but waiting, I will say, what we have seen today on this program, this is my genuine opinion, the hidden truth. Waiting we don't see today, we see argument, personal argument between two people, and this don't show the political divide in our country. This don't show, this is why the problem within our country, they continue, because we forefathers, the way come, they did not put us together as one. And number two, Mr. Iskandria, my learned brother, I admire you very well, but I take an offense for you as a as a man with a legal mind and extensive exercise of that legal mind, perfectly and professionally. I won't take that from you. But for you to come on national TV that goes worldwide, a stakeholder in Sierra Leone, to ascertain categorically as if it's a fact or as if you were an eyewitness to the event, to say they went to kill stakeholders of an opposition party, you are inciting violence in that country. And my mother is there, my father is there, Timinis are there, Mendes are there, SLPPs are there, APC are there. They are all my brother. I don't want that bloodshed. So I advise you, sir, please let us be careful with what we're saying. You're injecting emotions into something that is much more delicate than what you know. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Let me get to
I would like to answer that before I forget, please.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll give you 1 minute, sir. So I'll get to
Mr. Sako, I understand what violence is. What I have given is an opinion, which I am entitled to. And it's an opinion based on my analysis of the evidence. Trust me, I am one person that does not believe in violence except if my life or the life of my loved ones are in danger. Then I'll do anything I can to protect myself or protect them. So to accuse me of inciting violence is totally rubbish because you don't understand what incitement is. I live in California, probably about 7,000 miles from Freetown. I cannot incite violence in Freetown, but I can tell you this much. I remember what happened in 1992. John, what's his name? It was an SLPP operative. In 1992, my father was Minister of Tourism. They arrested him. They kept him in jail for 2 years. They said his crime was not that he was corrupt, which they found he was not, but his crime was that he did not collect hotel rents as Minister of Tourism. One of the SLPP back then, NPRC, John Benjamin Harsh, used to go to the prison, go into Clarkson house and tell me, Papa, say now that the next one they will get for kill. This was after December 29, 1992. My father told me that story. I'll never forget that. I'm telling you right now, Brother Sako, I know what I said. I stand by what I said. I'm not inciting no one to be violent. I'm telling you based on the facts that I know. History always seems to repeat itself when Mr. Bio is close to the corridors of power. History always seems to repeat itself when the SLPP is in power. This is wrong, and I'm asking every one of you to please come together. Land that we love. We have only one country, and we have had a problem for years and years with our ability to live up to the what our country's motto says, which is unity, freedom, and justice.
Thank you very much, sir, for that. Let me get to the next caller. Good evening, caller. What the name of the call from, please?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. What the name of the call from?
Yeah, this appears to call from Kalamba, now Lokoma Sama Chiefdom.
Mr. Math Chiefdom, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead, sir.
Program. The first thing I say today, I commend VOS, but VOS get for put some rules if you want to let people and rate una say una they do a very good job. Una moderators them, una get the una get, then they go out of topic. Then they talk too much more than the time, then they take people in time, una for put them on time. If una they watch other international TV them, una they copy from that so that where they go fine. I left Randy. Now, the point is, all what you wanna talk for this prison break, all nobody no bring one grain through one grain sense based on then say, he say, then say, he say. Mr. Dr. Iskandri, a pathetic liar. I make he become a lawyer. For let this man say Yakuba been there hearing voice na that audio, he make cannot get no respect for that say he dey lie because Yakuba been the lunge where this incident happen, where this Iskandri the can't talk to Iskandri then they were in a chronic APC they we no want nothing for no other party rule na SALONE. All what they want is now APC no want to be opposition. From the morning, we not check history, they don't want to be opposition forever. Anytime they be opposition are trouble no more. 1974, it's how most people in Scandal. Ask you, Papa, if they are alive, how most people in Second Civil make the shoot na Palema Road prison. Prison won't have the so prison get law. Anybody
that's not
now,
I mean they SALONE
entitled for shooter.
Are they from 5?
They for
you know,
shooter, if you have a prison. In America, if you
judge the whole land of come some outside come out.
Mr. Iskandri, I don't sir.
Oh, you say one of the villagers come on.
No, sir, go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do it.
Yeah, I come on at TV. I did TV Island. Asabi you. So nobody say nothing. You Asabi you.
Even special court where they talk about Asabi, I know you always playing a special court. We have been going there for money, we are not going there for justice.
You ask the question, don't let you move on.
Shoot and kill you. Even in America, who said she does for California, you get my church policeman, Mr. Scandry, where you not go shoot you and kill you.
No,
I can't do that. If you put your hands on a police officer in California. Let me tell you, Mr. Scandry, you dey talk as you don't have village, I talk to you. Listen me carefully. If you put your hand on a police officer in California, the police they shoot you and kill you left bumping. You understand? So for left prisoner they riot, you say they not for shoot them. The government know. And when you talk about presidential guard, you know what is a presidential guard?
No, sir.
You know who that means? Everybody is a presidential guard. All the security forces are yeah, tell her, hold on a little bit. Would be the again time, it be the overtime we would listen until you go overtime. Let's listen we. Mr. Scandry na person where racist, Mr. Scandry na person where get tribalism. The last time he accused somebody for being Mende man. If I tell you say you na Creole, you na ex-slave, you go feel good?
Yes,
you know, because you
can't
straight.
If you say you na Creole man a cause,
you know,
if you say you na Mende man a cause,
come on.
If you say you na Timini man a cause, I'm not fool so.
Okay, Mr.
No, you not ex-slave. You not slave. Man, me not to Timini. You not ex-slave. You papa there, then a slave.
Caller, sir, let me stop the personal attack, sir. Let me go straight to the point. Let me not do personal attack, sir. Please.
This can't be, come on. I expect you to do more better than this. Come on, man. If you say because you don't California, we in a village, I would say they talk nonsense.
Sir, let me not do that. Let me not disrespect yourself, sir. Let me just go straight to the point and talk about the issue, sir. Let me not disrespect yourself, yeah. All right? Let me just talk about the issue, sir, yeah. Please.
What I don't do for SALONE. Tell me one thing. What you don't do for SALONE. What make you go for special court for pay you money?
All right. Let me get the next caller. Dear, let we respect yourself. Dear, let we just kind of show out about the issue. Let we not do personal attacks. Dear, people in the plenty where they want for nothing to go on. We will be educated them and sensitized about what's go on. We only preach SALONE force. Let we do that. Dear, we can attack each other. Not do SALONE force. Dear, na bigger the big one. Dear, let me get the next caller. Caller, what name outside the call from, please?
Yes, and my name is Yaya Kalon. I call from Pennsylvania.
Yeah, Mr. Kalon, what are you taking this program tonight, sir?
First of all, I want to address Mr. Iskandgi. He makes some claims. I want to withdraw that claim. The way he say the purpose of the riots and the prison of who kill Paulo Conte. We not get no evidence, for say the purpose of that riot and the prison of who kill Paulo Conte. May he take that statement back. Enough fine for we country. The way Mr. Iskandgi they present the case, they present this case with malice. They say therefore we release Paulo in West, therefore release Silver Blinding. We self know Silver Blinding. There is an audio going around where it talks when they remove a number from the different forums. Then why? What do you get? What do you hide? You understand? All the things and they come up. They make you become a suspect. You understand? They not just go arrest Sylvia for no reason. You understand? It's not investigation. We don't lead to Sylvia. Maybe they don't arrest them today. Down to Paulo Conte in West. You see, anybody where the law lead you to, where investigation lead to you, then they just go arrest you for no reason. You understand? Because you know to SLPP, you not APC. No, when I'm on left in there, me, I want Mr. Iskandgi and me on big border. I want to retract that statement back. They not go for go kill Paulo Conte. According to that body with the interview, that prisoner day. And before I go to that body, I appeal to the government. May he protect that body in life. I appeal to the government. Because all what that body talk, that about a prisoner, I don't think that body will lie. So, but the manner in which they conduct that interview was wrong. They don't already, the identity is all over. So, me want the government, if there is any way the government will pardon that body, may they pardon her and may it come out of country because in life they are at stake. You understand? So, me the only thing we need to tell the government again, the government is for step up again. You understand? And Escoma when it come, and Escoma when it take power. The one that way it say they not be the work in the ETS. He pull it all. The boss said he talk in the interview. He said that can't there will not happen that today. You know when they happen yet.
Thank you very much, sir. Let me get to we have plenty of callers on the line. Let me get them. Let me give some people a chance as well. Let me get to the next caller, please. Good evening, caller. And the most call from, please. Good evening, caller. What name must I call from, please?
Yeah, this Abdul Bandhu. They call from Pennsylvania.
Yeah, Mr. Bandhu. What name you talk on the program tonight, sir?
Well, I don't listen to the program, and I just want to particularly make a short point now before I even do any contribution. Mr. Ali, if he talk now this program, please make it talk in Creole. If he talk to Sierra Leoneans, not to every Sierra Leonean, they understand English. Then they're very important. Then see away, then program are for educate people, them not to for come say you go school or you not go school. And secondly, waiting they happen in our country is really, really not good. The government, especially President Bio, if offend way for bring everybody together. Now, in your own responsibility, Dandy, for make the country come together. But to me, this is my own personal opinion. I know they say the president, they do Dandy. We all go remember, say, President Bio and others, they don't come 1992 and then go. And to me, I think, say, President Bio now one of the most forgiving person with Sierra Leoneans, they don't forgive because they're able to bring them back for a second time. I believe that if we use them there and be humble and bring the country together, that's the only new one for say tonight.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. Let me get the next caller. I'll try to get 4 or 5 more than rules because I know say time don't be 3. I've got a lot of plans if we can get the last word.
Yes, we
can. Caller, what name was the call from, please?
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah. What name was the call from?
Yeah, my name is Ben. I call from New York.
Yes, sir. What now you want to take on this program tonight, sir?
Yeah, me want to take. First of all, I just want for a little bit admonish you as a moderator. You know, say you get a role for playing our country for maintain decorum. And if you invite people then for Kana, you a forum for discuss salon for go before, now peace talk we want. If you see say somebody they go out of topic, now responsibility for calm that person in the back to order and then put them to the path because we know they can't insinuate now, so we say they can't talk now, so as a family talk. Not come with somebody they can't insinuate talk. Not come with somebody where they come with talk, we not get no sense, we not get no evidence. In fact, if I don't they admonish and say this matter they under investigation, if you get evidence, go help them, let them complete the investigation. But you know who can't make your personal, conclusion. If you want to make personal conclusion, okay, fine, make them your own a private forum where they make. But this now we all deny, so now we all not Sierra Leone and we they watch. And you get responsibility. They watch people and they go out of hand. Even call out and they call and they interrupt them. They moderate you stop the way it gets under. You get responsibility for play, for maintain peace and order. I don't know more people want to tell you because it allows things they go out of hand. If you call somebody they talk, allow the person for talk. But when they talk, at least put some say now this way they can't discuss. So I don't want to come with what you believe in, what you not believe in. We can't talk as a family, we can't talk as a Sierra Leone and for push we can't to go before. Look the allegation where they go on so 2-3 people then get for 4 this video tomorrow. And this man don't make bold claims say then go for go assassinate them prisoners then they. If you then be go for go assassinate then why then go pull them there among all the what around the way then be there. Let we try for maintain peace. Now that no more be they say because a VOS will be believe and say now for promote salon issue. But the way things they go now, when they come with people them, we not get no clue, we not get no respect for the people the way they under. Because when they do so something, then see don't overhead that so then they enjoy themselves. At the end of the day, people then get for suffer. Anything will happen. You understand what I mean? So let's maintain that. Please.
Thank you very much. We go work on that. All right. Thank you very much. I take you concern highly with high respect. So thank you very much. Let me get the next caller. Good evening, caller. Within the message call from, please.
Hello.
Yeah. Good evening, sir. Within the message call from.
I call from Lungi, Freetown.
Yes, sir. What night you take on the program tonight, sir?
I call from Lungi, Freetown. My name is Cisco.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
You know, this is complete nonsense. Well, this is complete nonsense. For 59 years, this don't go on. The APC, the SFPP, they are problem. The political elite, they are problem in that country today. They don't care where this to go on. APC governance, APC governance, APC police, APC governance, APC
I've turn the volume down from the device where they listen to. Any interrupts you, sir. Turn the volume down on the device where they listen from.
Okay, I will do that. Now, this song is going on for too long. And you know what I mean? The parties them, they're bigger than the country, they're bigger than the people. Power by the gun and power by force are not sustainable, they're not acceptable. And that makes a lot of people run away from another country. This has to stop. This has nothing to do with deal. I talked about 69 years now. This don't go on. The APC, the SFPP are problem in that country. There is no law, nothing on the go on. Everything working as a completely. You know, I will talk about out of emotions because this don't go on, don't think. The people that we get brain that the criminal them, now the politicians, they always quote and attack. Those are the criminals. Being irrespective of the party.
All right, sir. Well, we get two more calls and we go end the program. Two more because I know some guests don't allow them in the second rest. Good evening, caller. Within the message call from, please.
Yes, good evening. My name is Bendo. I call from Kansas City.
Welcome to the show, Auntie Bendo. What now you want to take on the program tonight, ma'am?
Well, I'm passionate about everything where I don't able to learn and understand na VOS, and I appreciate the una time and effort and where we put into them program there. But my disappointment here is the system don't they fail we. If we they believe say we get a judiciary system we get for war, me feel say for lay we they come on them platform there and all other areas them and say what they say and not feel say that in it go benefit the judiciary system for lay them able for look into some of them things there what they need for look into. So me go appeal so we all let we be patient for the benefit of the country. Let we sit down, let we see and give the judiciary a chance for let them look into this case here and see what thing they go able for come up with. Because I mean this not go down well. Whether APC, SLPP or any other party, if the lawlessness continue, I mean we're not going to see any way forward for the benefit of the country. And we went at the people of that country there, let we give chance to the judiciary for let them look into this instead of we incite or say anything we go get for influence any outcome in our country for cause problem. Now that is my own take. Thank you so much for the time and our effort, and I appreciate what they do, but let we do it with caution. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Again, I want to apologize to all the callers that were not able to call in tonight because I know so Naboku, but again,
Bunya call, please. Bunya call.
yeah, take one more call and that's it because good evening, caller. What name was the call from, please?
Bunya call after the one call. Bunya call.
Good evening, caller. What name was the call from? You don't listen me now. Good evening, caller. What name was the call from? Caller on the line. Good evening, caller. What name was the call from?
My name is Francis. I call from Minnesota.
Yeah, Mr. Francis. What are you taking on the program tonight, sir?
I tell you plenty, thank you. I want to go straight to the point. I want just advise sooner, owner they get legal analyst or advisor, as a lawyer. When I for really talk to him, make it be really be unbiased. But that one a lawyer, they really he's not doing a good job. We all know, we all get sense. We analyze somebody when they talk. Number one or number two, that lawyer he and that other woman in Canada, all the time from the very beginning, them don't they advocate for Palo. That's not the case. If we can go back, then don't they advocate do bad but. So then they left to them. Number three, severe blooding issue where they come up. To me, I just say it just the play in the hands of APC because of 2020, it won't big for sympathy, see, they lock her up, then now that's what they do. Because from election, commissions of inquiry, they take up Palo in case, they talk about corona, where other doctors in the effect the corona, in just you don't talk to the talk. So, anyway, we they try for exam. Where in be day in governance, how many people then single-handedly in mastermind for made the arrest? Eboku. We have just asked no more. Eboku. The people then really way it make them send up an embargo. Eboku. So at the end of the day, that need not to any other issue, not to think we consider. With anti-Matilda again. Now today no more in no say we were the listen in a Creole, we don't understand because all this one in English we don't speak. Now today you understand say Creole, now we don't understand. We honor them, we go appreciate them. Really, if them be patriotic and talk to we sincerely, we go appreciate them. But you know go to talk, like with that man be talk, you support party under cover. Then we would listen to. We don't understand exactly the two way they talk. Somebody where they talk, we know the support party, we didn't know. Somebody where they talk, we the support party, we didn't know. So like that. With the time we have plenty thank you, may God bless you now. But many people they know the food. We all in our oversee, we know what you go on. So anyway, my time done. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Well, let's take the last one. It's like you want Bunyasa again. Good evening, caller. Tell him to the call from, please. It's the first one to say good on to Wango.
Yes, Mina Edward Mara. Hello.
Good evening, caller. Tell him to say the call from, please.
Yes, Mina Edward Mara. So happy that I will get the chance for talk. First of all, Minister Lee.
Go ahead. Last caller for tonight. So go ahead, sir.
Hello.
Yeah, the last caller for tonight, Mr. Mara. So go ahead.
Oh, thank you so much. I call from Philadelphia. Okay, when around this time, what happened at SALONE, we mind that they bleed, you they bring politicians and can add salt to injury. The two guys that were in the APC and SLP people are not supposed for Dede. Okay? We tire with the politics. And you see, Mr. Iskandi, they tell we now say, we will get independence mind, not for talk. Now, una quiet. APC and SLP, una quiet. We tire. And would expect VOA when issues like this would call people independence mind. Because APC and SL people are not rotting the country, they can preach politics against we when the new level of law, that new level of lawlessness, they bring her now to maximum prison. It's sad. We are big. Around this time we're minded tire with APC and SLPP. Not bring politics now so. APC kill, MPRC kill and stuff that they all kill. What in the what I will not do? We don't want for talk. We don't want to read. The people are tired. APC, listen. When Jerry Rawlings take power in Ghana, all the old politicians, he killed them all. Today, Ghana is better. Now, that's I want for my country, no. But I say, all the old politicians there, who are left power, who are bringing independence man, look like what the anti-corruption man they do. Young man, he got sound man, he got it think good for a country. That is the mind and the what SRPP, the APC, and independence mind. We tire with our politics. Next time we get issue there, they talk about not put politicians in this place. It insult we. And they get for the talk like a lawyer. Okay? Not for they're above they're above the law. Not cost and not do anything you're not supposed to do. We will be independent. We don't like SALONE. People in the suffer. APC and people we don't want to know. All the old politicians are left and give new people, young people are getting independent man. We like the country. That's what they say. Me mind, let's just calm down. You know what I mean? But please, when we get important issue with the bond, we have to bring politicians in there.
We go walk this slowly.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for your passion, because we always sense the passion in your voice. Calm down, my brother. God bless you and have a good night, sir. Thank you very much. I want to thank all my callers and then the listeners. And so now may I come to Mr. Alisa with your last word of family tonight. If you could just put everything together in one big ball for me in at least 5 minutes. And
yes, thank you very much. For one thing, me brother Mr. Emmanuel Ali blame APC for inciting violence. I not see nobody come on and say Mr. Emmanuel Ali they incite people, because he express his opinion, which he has a right to do. I express my opinion because my opinion is controversial. We get people from as far away as Lokomasama. After put Loko, they go Rubake, they go Lunge for call. I don't even know if they get Wi-Fi access to Lokomasama. But I don't say not today call for. Listen, make I tell you something. And the last caller, the way he called so with the alaso, I think you need for taking blood pressure medicine. So do up. May I tell you something? If we not learn from the past, we are bound to repeat it into the future. What we need in a SALONE, now a leader will go take charge. Now, I have met President Bio a couple of times. I've been one of the first people to say he's a very calm fellow. But the people that we surround are not calm. There is this thing in the law where they say when you are a soldier and an officer and you're leading people into battle, the actions of each and every member of your team is reflected back to you. If President Biona, the leader of Sierra Leone, make it take charge and not let people then drag and go down, because the actions of people like Lima and other people that are involved in these things, these actions will do nothing. There's going to be a time when President Biona will be president of Sierra Leone. How does he want to live his life there? Does he want to be chased around because of what he might did or what some other people did? I don't think it makes sense. So here's my take for the night. I think President Bill should institute a blue ribbon commission made up of non-Sierra Leoneans to investigate the killing of these prisoners at Pedemba Road. That commission should also investigate the cause of the fire at Pedemba Road. And if it comes back to say that it was set by SLPP operatives, President Bio should be able to deal with those people publicly. Because then people are that they get a bad name, that they get in government bad name. If it go very hard for Lacey, what she say, now 10 years from now, now Lawrence Lima, now ain't do we bad. No. They will say now beyond government. You know how many years people talk about say now Saka Stevens in government to do this. You know how many years people in the talk say that NPIC government do this? Me na one of them people in the for my brother Salamikoka. Now, somebody say me always they advocate for Paulo Conte. First of all, me na lawyer. I get for take a side. You understand? But I think Mr. Tawali, you will remember the last time I appeared on this show. I said Paulo Conte is guilty of what? Stupidity. Didn't I say that loud and clear? I have never advocated for him. But I have also said this, that he may be guilty of stupidity, but not guilty of treason. I am a lawyer, a trained lawyer. Am I not entitled to that? As I read some of the comments, some people that will not get the blessing for go law school and become lawyers in the United States as an African boy, African man. They talk now, yeah, you are not a good lawyer, you are this, you are that. Those things don't bother me. For 26 years, I've not been a good lawyer, but I've been surviving. But the tendency of the Sierra Leonean for come put the comping down. I am the only Sierra Leonean lawyer of all the Sierra Leonean lawyers in the United States. Where they fly from me based in California, go anywhere in the United States for go help Sierra Leoneans the way they lock up in jail for immigration cases. Then ask anybody. I'm the only Sierra Leonean. I pay my own way to go there. I represent them for free to go there. That's the essence of my nationality. You understand? And when I go there, I don't ask them which tribe you be. I don't ask them which party you support. I say, let me see your passport. They show me. What language in Sierra Leone do you speak? Mende, Timni, Limba, Creole. Okay, when I reach there, the first thing what they do, I for talk to them in Creole. If they talk to me, I don't say it's not SALONE person. I have done that for many Sierra Leoneans. You don't believe me? Go ask people. I don't do it for them based on their tribe. I don't do it for them based on their party affiliation. I do it for them because we share one passport. That passport says unity, freedom, and justice. That's what we stand for. All we ask is this government, in under 2 years of being in power, there have been successive issues of violence that is uncontrolled, that is just sparked. And this is one of those. Again, let them answer the question. Let them answer the question. What was Mariama or Fatimata Sawane doing in the jail at 3 o'clock in the morning? What was Lima doing in the jail at 4:30 in the morning? What was the Minister of Internal Affairs or whoever it was doing the jail? Remember now, 3 o'clock in the morning, Mariama Sawane should not be in the street. There is a curfew in Sierra Leone. She should not be in the street, whether she's a SLPP chair lady or not. There's a curfew in Sierra Leone. That was the reason why they were there. Because the fire started at 7 o'clock in the morning. That's the reason why they were there. All we're saying is simply this. Let's analyze all the facts. I think people like Mr. Emmanuel Alige for go pull cover close and cover here. Because I think we catch you at this step. And for them people that already talk to me now, APC, I want for them to understand. Say, I was APC until I became global chairman of the Coalition for Change. I want for them to understand, say, when I was APC, was when Anesco Uma sacked the vice president of Sierra Leone. I was the first Sierra Leonean in the whole world who wrote an open letter, not a private letter, an open letter to President Nkrumah, schooling him on the constitutional violation. If you think I'm lying, go to Facebook, go read my post, the 99 tactics of APC. Go to my Facebook page, go read it. That was during the time when I had an APC card. You see, I'm not like Mr. Ali. We're different. When my party does wrong, I tell them they've done wrong. And because I told APC they've done wrong so many times, they didn't want to see me no more. And I said, goodbye, see you later. Because we are not come for benefit Sierra Leone, we are come for quell Sierra Leone. Mr. Ali West also, he can vouch to the fact that me are the only person when I was APC, I don't write so much against APC, it's unbelievable. Anybody there would read me, you would deny that? So we want peace in Sierra Leone. We fought a war once before. Many people died. I saw what happened. I saw what happened when they cut people the hand. I see people pass away 30 days. We go put past the entire school now for it. Today, I get one soldier man, which he always day na the supermarket up hill station, where I can always meet there. I don't sabi that man did long years because he was a witness at special court. They court or 2 years. Every time I go, I must get money. You know what you do? I they ask, what kind of man will look in comping man and cut in hand on 2 years? How go eat? How go toilet? How go clean himself? How go hug him baby? How go hug him wife? We have been so wicked and cruel to ourselves. And this partisanship is even is making a cause celeb, particularly when we have people, very highly intelligent people, like my brother Mr. Ali, supporting this rubbish that's going on. I have nothing else to say. On that note, I rest.
Thank you very much, sir. So I get over to Mr. Emmanuel Ali, sir.
Well, thank you, my learned friend, Mr. Iskandar. I've always appreciated engagement with you. Again, the people that really watch VOS should understand that, the whole process of making governance better is to have citizens engaging in ways where one person not go agree with the other, but we go find a way for push with ideas them and hope that I go maybe bring you closer to me. You self hope for bring me closer, me closer to you. And this is why this is important. Now, very important business we do. To my colleague Matilda, I know we had a back and forth, and as a matter of practice and principle, I do not like the attack of personality. So I apologize that I was defensive, but I had to make sure we did not do that. But going forward, I think it's important for Sierra Leoneans them from every region or society understand what SLPP as a political party is all about. I mean, a lot of people have established in their own mind, say African politics is not based on ideas, principles, philosophies, or ideology. I've always disagreed. SLPP has always been the progressive, people-oriented, forward-leaning party. That is what this moment is about. It's about moving the Pekin way they at the farthest village in the north and the farthest south for give and possibility and hope. You look at President Bio, all in policies them. They have established principles and foundations where go move a country forward. Bear in mind, we have come from nothing. APC for those decades and even the past 11 years, as Kuruma left office, the report card where IMF, World Bank, other agencies then give was a failed government who exploited we country. And yes, President Bio has been transparent, has put to the people of Sierra Leone the policies and the agenda we go move their country forward. That is what President Bio is about. He's a resolute leader. He's a man who knows exactly what he wants to do, says what he wants to do, and does exactly what he says. Not by listening what everybody in the public has to say, but a man who puts forth policies and moves the country forward. And yes, let me just finish with the prison issue. Again, I go back to the statement from the Secretary General, the Honorable Napoleon Umar Okroma. I stand by that statement that preliminary evidence points to the fact that it was a prison escape. That preliminary evidence points to the fact that APC authorities may have been in the know. That in fact, the Sylvia Blydens and the others out there in social media who have been insistently, persistently inciting violence and threatening that the rule of law does not prevail, but that their own ambition and emotion and wishes prevail, I think found itself at Pademba Road on Wednesday, the 29th of April. But to all Sierra Leoneans, I ask you, if you want a better life, if you want possibilities for your children, if you want 18 years from now, you pick in away the class 1, go down high school, then go college, then get quality education, they become productive citizens. The new direction is the way you go. If you want Sierra Leone to move from the agrarian, rural, underdeveloped society to a better industrial, economically viable and politically sustainable society, SLPP is the way to go. And President Bio, nobody can question in temperament. Nobody can question in acumen. Nobody can question in heart for the country. This is a man who has healed our nation. This is a man who had the audacity to bring Paulo in and say, give me your ideas on what you want to do during Ebola. Unfortunately, Paulo in intention, the president in good intention was exploited by a man who was ambitious. And I believe say history will reflect that President Bio is nothing but the savior where Sierra Leone be the look for. Given the fact that APC have been the force that destroyed the hopes and ambitions where we independence fighters them, be one for we country. I ask all Sierra Leoneans for come together, give President Bio a chance, let us move our country forward. And thank you to VOS for giving a voice to every party, APC, SLPP, independent, whatever. This is what a political space for political discourse is about. And we keep this fight going. We keep battling ideas, and hopefully someday Sierra Leone will win. Again, I thank you, gentlemen, and God bless you. Power to SLPP, power to the people. God bless you all.
Thank you very much, Mr. Emmanuel Alisa. And over to you, Ms. Matilda Cole.
Mm.
Why you pinning for me now?
I could probably go for. I need to catch my breath. Mm. Mm.
Yeah, we are one for go sleep there. Go ahead and give you so go come on there.
Well, she's still pinning.
Wow. Mr. Kutubu, please, if you don't mind, please go ahead. I just need to compose my thoughts. So I am, yeah.
All right, Mr. Kutubu, go ahead and say good night, sir. Go ahead, over to you, sir.
It sounds like drama to me. I mean, I expect professionalism, not drama, but I guess it is what it is.
Thank you very much. For me, it's always an honor for appearing in place here. So, exchange ideas. But what do you mean they left everybody with? As we move forward, in 2018, the people that by their votes and go on at the polling station, they reaffirm their faith in the validity of the sanctity of the ballot box by putting the government together. Whether that be the right government, they put it not the wrong government, not a conjecture, not academic. That's not the thing that about democracy. They can always say, real consequences. Waiting me will advise, especially within here, we enjoy democracy, the rule of law, and everything. Waiting me will advise them. Don't begin to tell the people in the back yonder, say, wait a minute, elections don't take place. The citizens don't decide the government. Una will carry out the government of the day. Una day under, now una for the check on them people here, for make sure say they do the things they right. Because in any society we know, especially from we don't get wedded in America, now one government at a time. As much as people, there's so much virginally opposed to Mr. Donald Trump, but the fact remains Donald Trump is going to remain there until November. The people will go back and decide whether they want Mr. Donald Trump or not. That's not the own job, Danny. That's not the day of democracy. We'll cry from January to December. Mr. Donald Trump is going to remain there until November, when the citizens they will go back. Whether Mr. Donald Trump bad off or not, now the voters will make that decision day. And so this goes to Mr. Bio. Okay, no matter how Mr. Bio not govern properly, no matter what you happen, let we give this right to the citizens for make that informed decision. Come 2023, look at, hey, Mr. Bio, guess what? We gave you an opportunity for government. It was never a divine right, neither not of circumstantial freedom. Now we take we add a call and give you, say govern we, but if we consider judgment and candid opinion. You know, if you say you live up to the expectations, the trust and confidence of the people. So, you know, we dey take that power back because the real power now that Brawe na all the na Matatuka, Mateboy, and prison. Not to the Maoist still on State House. No. The Maoist still on State House now later power exercise that the real Maoist get that power. That guy with the street na Kube, that guy with the street that paper, and they pass atomic bomb or Nagasaki bomb where they go drop us so. Because we drop inside the ballot box, now they determine you fail. Then we put with faith in the validity of the sanctity of the ballot box. Now the only way that then we allow Mr. Biode, let him govern. When the time comes, there will be a decision rendered on them. Make nobody not make me no underestimate the result of Salonianism. Not underestimate the intelligence. No matter what you do, if they don't want you, they don't want you. If anybody not believe, let them go back 1967. Waiting, meet Albert Mackay, let them just go ask. So do you have a mere way this hard you can think? This, you know, okay, then people, if that will come up with a whole lesson of history, waiting and the APC do Shaka series. But then the question is, where do we go from here? So we then now put this behind we say let people they were very misguided, they not be noting any power. We very enlightened, pay you waste on that because in a democratic society that would they see. Then they butt heads. But guess what? Then they move forward. So we are now appeal that to everybody. What can I have? Now they try for the sensitize the psychological attitude of a brother and sister. Say, hey, wait a minute, violence so they solve nothing. It's not solving anything. What violence they do, it exacerbate problem. Okay? When that red and white we go to salon, you don't know Mende, you don't know Timini, you don't know Creole, you don't know nobody. Everybody suffer. When Ebola go there, they don't say, okay, no, this Ebola. It only will go affect APC people there. We go make less. No, everybody. You're like with this coronavirus. So we all this. Some of we don't even have ever since they don't declare this year, and then they go out. We are all locked up. So with all this here, we'll talk say no put the country before. These are the things said. Yes, we deal with political differences. It's gonna but we are at the end of the day, let that what they call green, white, and blue, let in there before. Then we party and no leaders in it. And they'll be able to muster the courage of conviction and fortitude for look with leaders and telling the truth. This way, you know, we were they tell we leaders with the truth. Now we not their friends. Now we not their friends. Then they let people, they play singers and then the psychophants now they actually not want to see the leader there, now they not the enemies. Because when the leader for them, and then they shoot up and say, look at how we tell them. So that me go left everybody tell now thank you. Let God continue for blessing. Let God let this coronavirus let escape with. So now we own contribution on that side.
Thank you very much, sir. Over to Ms. Matilda.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Kutubu, for so graciously, you know, going ahead of me. Me fumble them. We don't come, we don't talk, we don't hear. This na a case where, you know, done it. Now a case where just begin. Now a case where at some point it go come back inside with history and it go dictate how maybe certain thing them go take place inside with country. I can't talk but some few things them as we dey close. For me, it's very important for make we get separations of powers, separations and identification of duty, respect of duty, and respect of we office. Now, here is one thing I will say. If indeed the lady by the name of Fatmata Sawane, if indeed na the SLPP women's wing, we mean say in your business now for take care of SLPP kingdom, now for take care of the thing that way affect the party within the women, and not see waiting in role or waiting in responsibility for go appear or for go day outside prison. They say fet or bos dey na prison. I don't understand that day. So do ya at the beg, make we sit down outside we sit down and make we do the work them where people them put na we hand for do. Make we know they take work them where people not put na we hand for do. Then we make and we own work them. The other thing I want to talk about, like where some of the caller then say me can talk English, me no can. Yes, I dey talk English a lot, but inside that English day, I can try for talk Creole because na the normal way I can talk. It takes a while to change a habit. Not all because I dey do and because I want to show something. That then I just if that's something I've been they try for show, it will come through. Okay, so make this now a thing also for make we show say we have to be patient with each other. For me, I dey try for interject and talk Creole as much as I can because I realize say the people them where I dey talk to, the people them where I need for talk to, the people them where I need for Yereme, the majority of them they don't sabi me Oxfordian or Cambridge English. Na Creole na in sabi. Na Creole na I go able get through to them. Now that make the last 10 years so. I say we big people in our society, do ya? I dey beg them, make them begin talk the native language to them people them. Because when they want them people them vote, where the campaign don't sit down proper one, now inside the native language then they talk. So waiting make when then our office, when then they try for communicate something important, why make them not go talk to them people them, now the native language the way they understand. Why make them they mix up, box up the people they aid with big English the way they don't understand? Then they lead to misguidance, they misdirect the people there. So entende. The other thing where I want to talk about, do ya make we left for play God. Make we left for play God. You know, I understand the caller say in get without any reservation. That mean an APC person. But the funny thing is that if you are looking at political formation, you look at political rally, you look at political gathering, you know, but one day see me picture or me video or me waiting and call inside APC or whatever, or SLPP or whatever political gathering. Okay? Trust and believe that genuinely there are people who do not care for political affiliation. And who only just want to see the betterment of SALONE, who only interested in SALONE for go before and for make we all enjoy them. The other thing where I want for left we always, you see, we boku can talk about the TLC. But I wonder truly how many Sierra Leoneans then don't ever sit down and read that TLC report there. You know, recently I picked up the book, The Special Court for Sierra Leone Did the Special Court for Sierra Leone achieve justice? It was a question. Another book where I get with me, you know, the Sierra Leone Special Court and its legacy. You know, the impact for African and international criminal law in Africa. I get so many series of books them about the special courts, you know, many of whom are written by a very astute one of we own from SALONE, you know, lawyer, you know, Charles Cherno, Yaya Jallo, very astute, very well respected legal luminary internationally, you know, writes so much. If we take with time, we begin read some of the, you know, the books them where some of we legal luminaries then don't write, some of the accounts of certain things then. If we take with time, we begin read history, we begin educate ourselves about Sierra Leone. Something then day, you know, when it happened, we go forget about party politics. We go forget about who is who. But the only thing we go concentrate on is the fact that we as Sierra Leone and we should put Sierra Leone first no matter what. Listen, people, even the Bible self talk and say, one can we go dream dreams, one can we see vision, and together we will work together. Listen, make we stop for stifle the young generation. Make we stop for put them to the back burner and not allow them for dreams and those to see visions and come together and work for Mama Salone. If we continue this banter between political party, who that better pass, whose political party better pass in company, who that do this, who that do that, who that do that. Make I tell you something. 60-year-old man, not to 60-year-old Pekin again. 60-year-old man, not to 60-year-old Pekin again. You know the able count with a 60-year-old man in aid. Me people there. You know not the able count to a 60-year-old man in aid. So make we left for the full we self. Make we begin to tell we self the truth. Sierra Leone is young. This country go through the process. That country go, yes, indeed, they went through their processes, and Sierra Leone must go through its processes as well. But in going through their processes, guess what? They made advancements. They made advancements. And nadande na we they try for see, nadande we they try for appeal, nadande we all they try for work for Sierra Leone. Listen. How do we sit and still justify what political party is right and what political party is wrong? Where you go no more, just within the peripheries of Freetown, just between Freetown and corner them, you they see somebody they waka into Hanode. You they see somebody they waka into Hanode in 1 foot no de na uda do dande to them. Not to we self Sierra Leonean look we comping. Kowo one at the eye. And chap the hand and chap them foot them because of waiting. Do ya me people them. Make we not allow history for repeating self. Make we learn for we history. And when it comes to something, I always tell you guys something. No matter what passport you carry, in that passport it says, what is your country of origin? And your country of origin and your country of birth will always remain Sierra Leone. Your country of origin will always remain Sierra Leone. So therefore, I urge you all, I say to una all, do ya, and not say make una no support patio, but do ya also true. When true come for make we talk am. Do ya make we talk true? Make we represent Mama Salone the green, white, and blue. Make we make Mama Salone better pass how we granny and grandpa they left am. And make we try for make Mama Salone better pass how we get for left am. How we mama then get for left am. For the matter of the prison break, if it was a prison break, if it was an orchestrated attempt, if it was a framing, I don't know. I cannot prove that. But in this matter, please, let us be diligent in our application. Let us be very diligent in our application. Let us not be fools to think history might not repeat itself. Because it only takes the wrong needle to pierce the wrong button and kaboom. So please, I am begging you all, do ya? If na pray we need for pray, make we pray. But with that prayer day, make we put the right action. Make we do the right thing. For once, na Salone, do ya make we forget what affiliation to tribe, make we forget what affiliation to party, make we think about the land that we love. We always they say, Mama Salone, the land that we love. Go back to your national anthem. Go back to your pledge, the pledge of Sierra Leone. Read the words and let them speak for you. And as they speak for you, to you, please put them into action. May God bless Mama Salone. May God cover we all. And as this corona, we defect this corona, please, una not forget for wash una hand them. Una not forget for wear una mask them. Una not forget for sanitize. And as the 3-day lockdown they come, I pray God say, the government will think about the vulnerables and take care of the vulnerables. May God bless we all, and may God bless Mama Salone.
Thank you very much. I want to take this opportunity to thank all the panelists again for doing what they do not easy. For let you come in on the free will, people they bash you, say things into you for your own opinion. It's not easy. But again, most of what they do because of love for country. We know say we're going for coming over disrespect, we have to come out free, but we still come every time and do them. So I'm for telling thank you for doing this day in and day out because of our love for country and on a stand up and for speak on something we believe in. So thank you all. I also want to thank our viewers and listeners around the world. Like we say, Voice of Salone, we all Leone. We all not going to agree, but again, we get for our opinion and our voice matter. Not me say because we know our own voice for shine. No, come at sometimes we know say then kind discussion it can tough. We know see people for clash. But that's the reality. At the end of the day, we are brothers and sisters. We know in our salon we do and for. We'll do all this behind the scene. We all again laugh and smile and go again and come back again the next day. So you can for telling our thank you, but we continue for pray for we continue. No matter what side you on the political prospect. I mean on the political divide, we all like salon in one way or the other. Again, Lord, we continue for pray for we leaders them, Lord, we pray for country because at the end of the day, we all want to see salon on top the pedestal of any other country in the world. So again, I'm for telling our thank you and to Muslim brothers, I would say Madam Mubarak, Lord, we the first day, not forget to pray for we leader them and Lord, not forget to pray for we country. And again, thank you all. God bless you all. Again, we will see again next Friday. We hope to not get this kind of issue again, even though we're not the actual one. But again, now I hope the next Friday they can all talk about something successful but salon where we all go be laugh and get kumbaya. Thank you all. God bless you all and stay blessed. Again, we pray that none of the family and corona not will touch we all. We will go through this together and come out together. Thank you and God bless you. Have a good night, everybody.
Thank you for hosting.
Thank you. Privilege having you guys.
Thank you very much.
Information and Communications, Honorable Madi Gobe, Dr. P.K. Moana, the Strategic Communications Advisor, and Boku Alejo them from the Security Sector, Office of National Security, and various other units, the Army, the Police, they are at the very highest levels for local council.
Okay, thank you very much, Minister of Information. Well, I think Family and me as the Minister of Internal Affairs, when this thing happened at the camp yesterday, I see briefly waiting with the happen and try to see our situation under control. We thank God for the efforts of all the security sectors that what they do for make sure say yes. The one they will have a plan for let them do, at least that's now we know what to talk about because it's not possible for them let anybody come out of the custody of this place. Not only the quantum of destruction where they cause, now that make me as the Minister of Internal Affairs, I also engage the Vice President who happen for be the Chairman of the Sierra Leone Correctional Council for let itself can see firsthand what are the quantum of destruction will happen at this facility. So if we're there this afternoon, and for that make we'll bring out the Honorable Vice President who will also double as the Chairman of the Sierra Leone Correctional Council for the SF Council firsthand what will happen for the attention of His Excellency the President.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. At least when I don't see the level, you have seen the level of destruction. And then as of now, the report coming out of here is that 9 inmates lost their life and 1 officer lost a life.
11 now
as of now, 11 inmates and 1 officer lost a life. And you get 42 injured, out of which 29 of them injured and they inmates them. 2 things. One is that UNASEF don't see the destruction, it affects certain facilities there, including the main store, the catering, the hospital, and some of the administrative blocks and the workshops. The other thing what we want to say is that since yesterday, we don't try for maintain security. Also, prison records are safe because in the last 1 year, we don't move the prison record from being paper-like to digital. So all the prison records they're safe, because even though the administrative block is damaged, because we've been done the move, we don't transform, we use now high-tech for record. And the other thing, since yesterday, we don't establish a committee for investigate this issue. The committee don't get in first meeting today. The committee, they work speedily for let them bring out the real thing out of it, and then they go make recommendations for the attention of His Excellency the President. Equally so, His Excellency the President yesterday don't instruct a group where they can look at, then they can assess the damage, and then they can see for put resources so that we immediately for put this facility back on a right footing, so that they're able to provide the services in terms of catering, medical, and the stores. So these are the things the way government don't put in place. So we just want to assure the public, reassure Sierra Leoneans and say, as of now, prison records are safe, the inmates they're safe. The one day where 11 don't lost their life, 42 injured, like we say, out of which 29 are inmates, will they take care of down there. Government, they put in place the measures that now immediately, this assessment what can do so now for can see the extent of damage, so that at least then they go inspire the committee where the president don't put together for immediately go back to work and get them facilities they are up and running. So now they we day as for now. As also chairman of the correctional services, I just want to say for quite some time now, we don't think about another developmental aspect to this. We don't see the prison, don't think government been think about bringing ideas together for a potential relocation, so that at least the prison will get space. That and this whole idea of correctional services, where it means for support prisoners, then for transform themselves from criminal to productive citizen. Then the whole native government been discuss, and then the team back way still lay on the limelight. So I want to tell you, thank you. I want to reassure you, say everything they under control. His Excellency, they make sure say on an hourly basis is brief about what we are doing. And today the committee don't get in first meeting. In the next days, they will go see government will take action. So I want to tell you, thank you.
Asma, you want the one quick one for the DP? One, two.
So one thing people want is I think go for the head of the correctional center. How come the prison will be able to get access to something for light the building?
Well, interestingly, according to the report, the prisoners, you see, they're going to the catering section. The time when they stay up in the morning hours, with them in the prepare breakfast for prisoners, so they're able to go there forget what in the need. You understand in terms of thing, what in them call for car light the building there. So now then the explanation.
Now they look come out for themselves on open in the morning.
No, well then also na the wire mesh. Then na the transition route. That transition route you get wire mesh. So the prisoner then broke that wire mesh there, then come out for themselves. Not also DG, exactly according to the incident report.
Thank you.
But like what we say, there is an investigation committee where they are. This investigation committee, they don't get them first meeting, they don't set up themselves, they don't begin to do their work. Then they go bring a deeper insight into all the dynamics way up in there. The two things where they say that government immediately set up a committee for investigate. President don't ask for a committee for set up for look putting at the assessment of the damage, so that we'll put resources and get the facility back on track. Yes, these are the two important things there.
How long this committee, because like the timeline, for this investigation, because delay, can always cause some other thing.
Well, as you said, they see, you could not say we will not get time. The committee self don't see, say we need to put them facility there in place. The committee don't need for no say. Government never get an insight into this for now we determine the next steps. So obviously the committee will not need for tell them themselves, and we are saying this is an emergency issue. This is something that their work is going to be rapid, and then the report will be delivered immediately.
Mr. Vice President, lastly, the public concern, but just the way we don't go around the talk on for born institution like then tiny so, and this don't happen. I want to take this particular message.
Well, then I will tell you say the government will not be proactive. You go find out say over the last couple of days we don't increase security in the facility. And as a result of that increase of security, then we able to contain the situation there. But in addition to that, we allow the investigation committee for go because they get a broader mandate. You understand, and for looking into this. But like we are saying, this is not a facility we don't own. As chairman of the Recreational Service Council, government don't they think creatively how for make sure say we operationalize the developmental aspect of correctional services. What in a correctional services? First we been get prison. Now they call them correctional services, meaning we'll put prison at the end. We support them with skills building so that when they go out, then go get skills for become productive in our society. And then they know they be there and the workshop back where they support them, then destroy up. For just telling us, say, government get we immediate plan now for deal with this thing, the long-term plan now for look at the possibility for relocate this prison with all what it need for become a functional and a viable correctional center.
Psychosocial for the prisoners them with already them from they were traumatized. And waiting the government they do for make sure say they talk to, even though then they talk about rehabilitation. The one they way they are now really traumatized. Waiting the government they do all that.
Well, I want to tell you say the clinic now them born. The staff they way there at the clinical services there, they still there. So they go continue for provide all the clinical services they way they provide now in terms of engaging patients there. We don't relocate some of the inmates there. At least the prison would, like I tell you, the assessment what they do now for put this facility on a right footing within the next couple of days, so that all the other services then they go come together as well. But be rest assured that everybody who don't assess the one they were injured, they take care of them. The one they we still get challenges, they will address them challenges that they. But the clinical staff are there and they will continue to provide the services they're supposed to provide for inmates. Thank you.
All right. That's the advice.
This is not the world. My name is Madam Fatima Sawane, the City National Women's Leader of SLPP. Normally, everybody know me for one thing, Sierra Leone. I hardly for kind of social media and say anything because as a leader, whatever you say is a policy statement, but there are times you have to take the bull by the horn. So if I get for hurt anybody by waiting, I get for say. Do you are the beg? I want for apologize before I say waiting, I get for say. If I hurt anybody, I'm sorry. If I not hurt you again, that is fine. But if I hurt you, I'm sorry. This is not politics and I'm a leader. And I don't lead the Sierra Leone. I lead just the SLPP. And as a leader, if I lead just the SLPP, when things happen, I get for defend the SLPP first. Because if they're wrong, I get rights for tell them say they're wrong. But on this one, they were right. I get rights for defend them. First of all, before this thing happened yesterday in Pademba Road, we don't get audio them for the past 2-3 months. APC go train Marshall, then do this, then do that. They send on social media, then threaten with me, Lima, David Senge, Ben Kalfala. Before we picture them, then send and say then go for kill we, all kind of things. Then threaten we. After that, they go attack my house physically. After that, I was also attacked by me security way be there at the gates, not give them chance for kind out me, but them because me always they stay with SLPP people them. So a lot happened, a lot of water passed under the bridge with the get them threat and everything. Then until we say then they can't attack them do them. So this just don't tell we say waiting APC they say and waiting and they do not waiting. And all your waiting see be blinding and other women of the APC they talk. SLPP get women, we get guts, we get mind than them women and they but we just want peace for rain. And they beg the APC in the name of God, for the sake of Mama Salone, for the sake of Sierra Leone, let peace reign. Una allow we, una get una 11 years, we allow una for rule. Una allow we for rule. If una say una they make Salone governable for we need to make Salone governable for anybody because we are leaders. But we they make Salone for una. A talk bangbana una mot them. Una the leaders na APC because they begin hunt with one leader to another with the face with face to face. And I want to say yesterday na Pademba Road, I'm amazed. And I am happy and excited to say I'm a national women's leader of the SLPP because everybody saw our response. Me reach Pademba Road 3 o'clock in the morning. The CDS arrived around 3 to 4 in the morning. Then before I begin to see other people in the car, the Lima reached there as early as 5:30 going to 6. That was good. When we all reached there, we all see a response. And later, I see we organizing Secretary Self-Cam around 8 or 9 in the morning, Batilo, which was very good. I want to tell una say we're not afraid una one piece for rain. Because we sabi govern Sierra Leone and we mean well for Sierra Leoneans than una. We not they sell the country and we not they come for make money for pockets. Rather, we they come for work for the people of Sierra Leone. If they're not seeing this moment, then go see her with the time. Just like we Pakababi make Nasit and other institutions the way bill up. Later, all man begin seeing handwork. And unless you come, not on you why you count on, now then you continue. APC una stop. A word for a wise is quite sufficient. If you try us, we'll try you. President Bio, you are a president for all. We are just leaders in the SLPP. And I want to say to you, you get people who qualify, who more than qualify for make sure say you ministry in their work. Ministers that are not functioning with all due respect, I think so una begin function because they not make them for una. For make una go able for function and do the work. If una not able for do the work, please una resign. But I want to tell una say we not go allow for let anybody put your life in jeopardy anymore or risk your life them or make sure say we life them not safe anymore or we will do not sleep. We will not agree. We will match that person bumper for bumper and eye for an eye and a soul for soul. We will not. We will not. I repeat. We will not risk your life them for anybody anymore. Let all man do in job to the best of his ability. Alone make sure so what happened so yesterday not repeat itself. Not to APC gets alone, not to SLPP gets alone, not to NGC gets alone, not to C4C, not to RUFP, not to any other political party, not to ND or anyone. Now Sierra Leoneans get Sierra Leone. And when they decide, people for respect their mandates, they have decided to give President Bio a 5 years, where they go for renew, for go for 10 years. And after President Bio, other SLPP go continue because we work for them. We know say we na servant there, we will serve them well by the grace of God. It will take a time, but we'll surely get there because we don't look for temporary solutions, we will look for everlasting solutions. So please, una stop. Sierra Leone is for all of us. We'll get the same rights as una get them. Una not allow we. Una don't push we too much. We don't keep quiet for too long. Una not allow we, please, for do or say what you not supposed to do. I thank una all. May God bless you. Like I say, if I hurt anybody, I'm sorry, but this is just the truth.